Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? How about that? But you didn't expect that shit to happen. Welcome. Hello, Mr. Bodka. Hello, John. Hello, the John Soft, Lindra Braga, Domson, Columbetka, 85, Out 9. Domson already said hello. It's the same people. Lost Algorithm, Nuligor, Rotten Chonzi, hello. Caliber Mengsk, hello. Welcome. So today is mundane day, pretty much. Hello, Mustafa. Hello, Belgianol, Bendy Darshan, Twas Step. Hello. So yeah, today is Monday, and that means doesn't really mean anything because we don't have a project for today, right? So we used to have like code reviews today, but the rate of people submitting pull requests has dropped. So because Hacktoberfest is over, so yeah, I have plans to start a new project today. But before we go into new project, we have to solve at least one Advent of Code problem, right? Because that's what we do every stream now. While Advent of Code is going, I just solve one problem, and I'm gonna do that until I hit a problem that I cannot solve, and after that I'm probably gonna stop doing that. And I try to use like a different language for every problem. I know that's a very original idea. Nobody ever done that before. I am the first one. I know that. Thank you very much. So yeah, and the language for today, by the way, hello Warchalk 78. The language for today is gonna be C++. But not just just a regular C++. I'm gonna program in the C++ that I don't like, with STL and stuff, the one that looks like Lisp with angular brackets instead of parentheses. You know that C++. So that's what we're gonna program in today. My favorite C++ of all time. So yeah. So I do that, so there's a contrast between C and C++, right? So, because I usually, when I program in C++, I program in C++ like in C, with additional C++ perks, like a stronger type system and templates and function overloading. This is like kind of things I like in C++, and I think they actually improve C. So yeah, and so I wanted to create a contrast between the language C++ and the language C, because C is going to be a separate language that we can use for problems as well, right? So I'm going to program in the modern C++ today, and then later one of the problems is going to be solved in C, which looks like C. Modern C++, yeah. I'm not sure how modern is going to look like, because I haven't been following C++ very closely. Like, the last thing I followed was C++ 11, maybe a little bit of 14, but 14 was like a cosmetic standard anyway. So after like 14, I don't fucking know pretty much anything, except some things in 17, but 20 and other shit is just whatever. Yeah, let's go. Maybe I need to go to my Team Mucus. Modern C++ is beautiful. Sure. And by the way, I publish all of my, I didn't want to click on you, but yeah, there we go. I publish all my solutions on GitHub, so you can find my repo with solutions there. I'm lagging a little bit behind on problems. I do that intentionally, so people have time to solve the problems, so I don't spoil anything. And not because I don't know how to solve these problems. No, I do that intentionally just to give you guys like some time to solve them. Yeah, that's exactly why I do that. Anyway, so let me fetch all this stuff. Okay, so I didn't do anything off screen, so that's good. So we're gonna try to solve the fifth problem. So let me go and create the fifth folder. So here's the fifth folder, and let's open the description and read it. Binary boarding, how about that? Fritos is good because it's free. Yeah, exactly. You board your plane only to discover a new problem. Get fucking damn it. You dropped your boarding pass You are unsure which seat is yours, and all of the flight attendants are busy with the flood of people that suddenly made it through passport control. You write a quick program to use your phone's camera to scan all of the nearby boarding passes, your puzzle input. Perhaps you can find your seat through a process of elimination. Instead of zone or groups, this airplane uses binary space partitioning to seat people. A seat might be specified like a where F means front, B means back, L means left, and R means right. Okay. So, okay, sure. The first 7 characters will either be F or B. These specify exactly one of the 180 rows on the plane. Number, I don't understand, like, what the fuck? Brain. What is this? Okay, maybe I need to actually read about zones and groups. I didn't really, like, fly on... Wait the fuck, what is that? Is that a CGP grape? Okay, it's a CGP grape video. I know this one, I think I watched this one at some point. Yeah. Alright. So instead of zones and groups, this airplane uses binary partitions to see people. A seat might be specified like, where a front, okay. The first 7 characters will either be F or B. This specifies exactly one of the 128 rows on the plane, numbered through 0 and 127. Each letter tells you which half of a region the given seat is in. I don't understand what is written here. I need some sort of visualization. Like, seriously, my brain is incapable of processing what they're trying to tell me. That's how bad it is. Each letter okay, region, seat starts with a whole list of rows. The first letter indicates whether the seat is in the front, in the back. The next letter indicates which half of that region is seat in, seat back, for example. Consider just first 7 characters. Okay. Start by considering the whole range row 07. F means to take the lower half, keep zeros. I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't understand the description. Because I think visually, just describing things doesn't work for me. I need pictures. So the last 3 characters will be either L, R. I don't understand. I don't understand the problem. For example, consider the first 7 characters. Okay, so 7 characters. All right, that is really bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is they are. Start by consider the whole range rows 0 to 127. Okay, 127. Okay. F means to take the lower half, keeping row 0 through 63. Back. The last 3 characters will be. I'm gonna make a cup of tea, seriously. Like, I don't understand what the fuck are they talking about. It's just, you know, very confusing description. Okay, so let's start. This is from where it starts to be. Instead of zones and groups, This airplane uses binary space partitioning to seat people. A seat may be specified like... Is that a single seat? Will be either F or B. They'll specify exactly one of the 128 rows of the plane. They specify 7 characters, specify one of 128 rows. So that means they have numbered. Each letter tells you which half of the region the given seat is in. Start with the whole list of the rows. You start with the whole list of the rows, 127. The first letter indicates whether the seat is in the front. Jesus fucking Christ! Oh, this is so bad. This is the worst problem I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my fucking goodness. Whoever came up with it, just fucking fire them. This is bad. Who fucking writes like that? Like, oh. So... Like, it's so difficult to understand what you want. Like, it's not like the problem is difficult. It's difficult to understand what the fuck do you want from me. Oh, so... This is the kind of way I hate, like, there are several ways to make problem more difficult, and making the description more convoluted is the worst way to make the problem difficult. You're not really making the problem difficult, right? So, you're just wasting people's time, obviously. Okay, so the first 7 characters will be either F and B, okay, which tells the region. Start in the whole list of the back. Next letter indicates which half of that region. Okay. So, alright. Okay, so this is literally like a binary search that they were talking about. Okay. And the last 2 characters was gonna be that. Start with the whole list of rows. Okay, the next, which half of that region? The last 3 characters will be either left or right. These specify exactly one of the 8 columns of the seat on the plane, numbered from 0 through 7. The same process as above proceeds again, this time with only 3 steps. L means to keep the lower half, while R means to keep the upper half. For example, consider just... Okay, so they have rows and they have columns, so you first select the row and then you select the column. Alright. So decoding reveals that it is the seat at row 44, column 5. Every seat also has a unique seat ID. Multiply the row by 8, then add the column. In this example, the seat has ID. Okay. But the ID... alright. Numbers, because you have a yeah. So essentially, so that's the problem. I do, okay, so maybe I was a little bit overreacting on the problem. So it's maybe not really convoluted. It's just my brain is not accustomed to understand these kind of problems. Right, so because I need pictures. I'm so dumb that I need like these kind of pictures. So there we go. So we have like 7 of these things, right? 6, 7, actually 8, right? And then you have this thing repeated 128 times. 128 times, right? So, and it just goes like that, right? And the first thing you do, you search the corresponding row like that, and then you search the corresponding column like that. And what's interesting is that the ID is, like according to this formula at least, right, is going to be essentially this numbering 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be the idea. So because they are numbered through, and I would understand if they just show me this picture. But if they showed me this picture, do I understand correctly, that would be too much of a spoiler, and then the problem will become too easy. Right. So that's 100% spoiler. That's, by my criteria, this is a bad problem then. If the only thing that keeps this problem difficult is the lack of this, picture, well, it's a very bad problem in my opinion. That's why I'm so mad. Like, there's nothing interesting in that specific problem. But again, it's just me. It's just me. Maybe people like this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, reading through this kind of stuff, right? But I personally don't like read walls of text, right? Because this kind of problem forces me to read through wall of text, and that's kind of that's why I don't like that. Okay. So reveals that it is a seed or whatever. The seed also has a unique seed ID. Multiply the row. Where's some boarding process? Okay, so that's actually pretty straightforward. Okay, it's a very simple problem, to be fair. You're not even doing binary search. You're just interpreting already made decisions of the binary search. So it's not particularly that interesting even. Alright, so essentially our input is going to consist of these things, right? It's going to consist of these things, and that's pretty much it. So, okay, so let's go ahead and code it up. Let's go ahead and code it up. So we're going to start with the C++. Again, as I already mentioned, this is going to be a C++. Oh, by the way, we need to debate people into the stream. Advent of code in C++. All right. Okay. So I already opened this entire thing, and of course we're gonna do it like this. So it's gonna be IO stream, right? Then we're gonna do it like that, and maybe we don't need this kind of thing. Std hello world. Okay. So this is gonna be main CPP. We're gonna have a compiler CXS, then we're gonna have CXX flags. So the output is gonna be main, and we're not gonna use any libs, maybe except math, but I don't think we're gonna have anything like that. So CXX flags is going to be W all, no W error, but W extra would be nice. We're going to use the C++ 17 standard. C++ 17, do we want to do pedantic? Yeah, I think we want to do pedantic because we want to be a standard compliant. Right. So, and let's try to build this entire thing. Maybe we're going to use Clang instead, who knows? And this entire thing compiles. Would you look at that? This entire thing compiles and it says hello world. So what's funny is that I think the way I'm gonna parse the input is gonna be by using, like, by reading the whole file into the string view. Where is the CPP reference? String view. Yeah, so, and then string view actually enables you with very quick slicing, substringing and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna just, you know, go through the lines, and because of that, I think ID of, so how is it called? ID of boarding pass, right? ID of pass, and we're gonna pass it by doing something like std. Maybe I'm gonna do using namespace std, so I don't have to prefix std everywhere. You know, it's not particularly convenient for such a small program. For a bigger program, that would be very important, right? That would be very important. But for a small program like that, it's just like easier to do it like this. Okay, size t. So string view, right? String view, and this is going to be the pass that we're passing. As far as I know, copying string view should be very inexpensive, right? It should be definitely very inexpensive. I wonder who owns the memory of the string view, by the way, in C++. Is it like reference counting? String describes an object that can refer to a constant continuous sequence chairs like. The iterator. Does anybody know, by the way, who owns the string view memory? String view, by definition, doesn't own anything, but who owns it? Who is supposed to own? Okay, good. So what do we have? So this is going to be the pass, and let's do the range. Let's do the range. So start by following the range rows 0 to 5. So we're gonna have like do I want to have size t or a size t, or do I want to have integer? I think I'm gonna go with the integer. Row of pass, row of pass multiplied by 8 plus call of pass, like this, and this is what we can return here. So that means we're going to introduce two additional functions. Okay, size of t, string view pass, yeah, return 0. Do I want to actually do something like assert, saying that this thing is not implemented. So I don't forget to implement it. Size t, string view pass. Okay, cool. So, and I suppose one of the things we'll have to do here, right, is to read through the file. Is there? I'm pretty sure there's no really a way to. Just to read the whole file into string. In C++, you have to do that through their input strings and stuff like that. So it's kind of lame. It's kind of lame. But maybe we're gonna omit that. Maybe we're gonna omit that for now. So, yeah, and if we're gonna use the streams and everything, maybe it would make sense to just use strings then, instead of string views. Right. So, and let's have like temporary input here. So this is going to be a temporary input, something like this, right? What kind of input we're going to have here? So I just want to copy paste whatever we have in advent of code, right? So this is going to be the second one. Be the second one, this is going to be the third one. There we go, and I'm going to iterate through all of them. Is it possible in modern C++ to do something like this? I think it is possible. Let's call them passes. Right, so these are the passes. This is going to be pass, passes. And then we can do something like cout pass, and then we're going to do ID of pass. Right, ID of pass. And then it's going to be end line. There we go. So this is how we're going to approach all of that. So let's try to compile. And it will probably fail. Okay, let's remove asserts because I want it to actually succeed. And if I try to run this entire stuff, right, if I try to run it, yeah, right now all of them are 0, which is totally fine. Cool, cool. So for the row, we're going to do the following thing. So the range is going to be low, 0, and high is going to be 127, right? And what we need to do, we need to iterate through 0 up until 7, right? Because we are considering first 7 characters, don't we? We consider first 7 characters. Yeah. So that means we're gonna do that up until there, right? And we're gonna have the following switch, I suppose, right? So pass I, right? I'm gonna have a case front or back. So this is front. Then we're gonna have back, and we're not gonna have any default because, I mean, in case of a default it has to be like instantly crash, but in that case I think it has to be asserted. It has to be inserted, and for the default, to check my .files, check my FAQ, check everything. Okay, so here we're gonna do something like this: assert unreachable. There we go. So this is how we're gonna approach that. Assert unreachable. So that means we're selecting the lower part. Right, we're selecting the lower part. 0 through 63. So that means the low is gonna stay the same, but high is gonna be slightly different, right? High is gonna be slightly different. High has to become 63, but it's really difficult for me to understand that. So Python. I'm gonna use Python. I'm sorry, because I'm using it as a calculator, all right? I'm using it as a calculator, not as a programming language. So 127, if I divide it by 2, is gonna be 63. Right, so 27 minus 0, divide by 2, and it's gonna be exactly that. But what's funny is that if it's lower part, well, I mean, we can definitely do something like high minus low divided by 2. I'm just afraid that it's going to be off by 1, so I'm always afraid of off by 1 when doing like binary stuff, binary search stuff. So, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work well. So we can always like temporarily compute like middle, right? So we can temporarily compute middle. So high minus low, just divided by 2, and in case of this thing, it's going to be high, right? So this is going to be high, and in case of back, so front is a lower part, back is the upper part, so that means low should become middle plus 1 if I understand correctly. Okay, if I understand correctly, and after that, the final F keeps the lower of the 2 row 44. So so in case of 44, you're gonna do what? You're gonna do, so essentially here you're gonna have low 44 and high 45, and in case of this one you're gonna do minus 45 44, which is going to be that, is going to divide it by 2. Yeah, and I already made a fucky-wacky because it's supposed to be like this, right? You either have to like add low afterwards, right? You have to add low afterwards, which is actually preferable if you think about it. Or you can sum them up and divide by 2, right? So there's always two ways of finding the middle, right? So there's always two ways to find in the middle. You can just sum them up, divide by 2, or you can subtract them and add low better. This one is more safe, who knows why. But not for this problem, but generally this one is a little bit more safe. Who knows why? Okay, nobody knows. Cool. Let's continue. What was that? It's going to be 45 minus 44 divided by 2 plus 44. And it's going to stay on 44. Okay, so that means it's going to work. So I just wanted to double check this specific case. Right, just wanted to double check this specific case. Hello, Will and Saba. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so so this is a row of path. Maybe we can already try to test that. Yeah, I think it's going to be actually pretty cool to test that. We can already do something like a row of paths and just do it like this. Yeah, I will have to do it like minus b. And it didn't work. Nice. I'm really happy that it didn't work because we didn't return anything. We didn't return anything. I suppose that after that, these values are going to be the same. Let me actually confirm that. So I'm going to do so it's going to be a low, high handle, right? So we're going to do something like that. And yeah, they usually end up. So let me put it like this. Maybe I'm gonna put it like that, like at the end, so we can see the last one as well. Something strange is going on. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. So, middle. Yeah, there we go. So, and they usually end up being the same number. So the input is specifically crafted. So after simulating this binary search, you're going to end up with the same, like low and high is going to end up as the same value. So this is another assertion that I want to actually put here just to be 100% sure, right? It's kind of important. And after that, we can just return low. So this is the assumptions that we make here. There we go. So 70, 14, 14, 102. So these match with these values. So our result for the row matches with these values. Okay, cool. So column of the pass, it's kind of the same situation, right? But for the columns. So maybe we can even copy paste this this entire stuff. But do we really need to copy paste it? Maybe we can turn it into like a more generic function that accepts initial low and nah, you will also have to change this range. It's easier to copy paste that. It's easier to copy paste that, unfortunately. So another thing, by the way, we also assert a very important thing here is that the length, if I remember correctly, I think this is how we calculate the length of the string. Maybe it's size. I think it's size. Has to be equal to what? 7 plus 3. Was it like 9? 10? Oh, god damn it. So 7 characters and the last 3. So that means we have 10. I don't know why I brain farted for so long here, but yeah, there we go. So it's going to be that. Yeah, so I just want to keep these assertions in case like something gets invalidated here. All right. So in that case, this one is going to be 0, 7. And here we're going to go through 7 up until 10. And instead of F and B, we're going to have left and right, which is left and right. left and right, and then we assume that, and now, okay, so everything seems to be okay. So this one is unreachable, and this is going to be column 774, and there we go. So we have a 774, and now if we take the ID of the pass, we can clearly see that it's 567 11,820, and maybe we should actually, this one is interesting. So it's 128 by, so what's going to be the maximum values of this stuff, because you have 128 multiplied by 8. Yeah, it's not that big, but there we go. This should be a solution. So essentially we have ID of pass that computes that more or less properly. Right, the next thing we'll have to do, we'll have to learn how to read stuff from the file, right? How to read this stuff from a file. Does anybody remember how to read from a file in C++? I vaguely remember. I do vaguely remember. So it's going to be fstream, I think. I think it's in if stream. So it's an input stream, right? It's an input stream. So I don't remember. I don't quite remember. Can you get a line? Yeah, you can even read by line. You can even read by line. So fstream, and let's open that. Okay. So if stream, so this is going to be like this, and we're going to read from a sample txt. So it's going to be sample txt, and we're going to put this thing here. There we go. Unfortunately, the problem with this solution is that it doesn't look like a modern C++, to be fair. But this is not that complicated of a problem to use anything modern here. To be fair, modern C++ didn't really introduce anything useful anyway. That's probably why it just don't use anything. Apart from intellectual masturbation, of course, like it introduced a lot of toys for intellectual masturbation. Like STD visit, yes, but something that solves actual problems, like now you can just use whatever it had already, so you just don't really need that. But STD visit, isn't STD visit was already in C++ for quite some time? I don't follow C++, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about this language to actually like follow it. Okay, it was in C++ 17, so but in 20 they improved it, whatever the fuck they did, and changed it. So yeah. It's just like a visitor pattern for very variant types. What something, Jesus Christ, people. Alright, so now I think the cool thing about fstream is that you can do something like this. While this, you can do get line, right? Out line, or we can call it a pass though. And then we can just print it like that. So that's the entire thing. Visits as a pattern matching without adding new keyword or syntax. Okay. It's like something that a lot of languages had like 30 years ago. Cool. Good job, C++, what can I say? Good job, Z++. Very cool, very cool. Alright. So, get line, not get line. I mean, no. Oh look, compiler just told me. Who would have thought? Huh? It's almost like I can just rely on the compiler. No matching function if stream get line. Okay, so where is it available? So apparently we don't even have that. So is that close to CPP reference? Yeah, CPP reference. That was because all great games were written in it. That's a really strange reason to learn a language. At least to me. I like clearly remember there was like a get line method. Input. So Yeah. Oh, they accept also something chart type? Huh. Yeah, that's a strange get. I remember that it had like a proper get line. Oh, it just has like a top level like function get line. Okay. So it accepts a stream. Okay. So and it even accepts the delimiter. That's actually pretty cool. So get line. I'm gonna pass it like that. And do I have to? Yeah, I also have to put a string, like the output string, where it's gonna accept it. Yeah, okay, so let's maybe do something like string str, and it's gonna be str. Oh, no, let's call it pass. Cool. Is it gonna compile? Yes, it compiled. Okay, so this one is interesting, so that means it also included the last line here. I wonder if it's gonna work now. No, it still includes the last line. So we have to be a little bit more careful. So I think we can do something like that. If pass size equal to 10, right? Then we can do something like this. There we go. So this is our input. So yep. So I think we're ready to take a look at the the puzzle input. Okay. Does it have anything apart from that? Everything looks okay. And what? By the way, what are we doing? The highest seat ID on the boarding pass. Okay, so that means we'll have to the highest. So the biggest, they mean, right? Okay, so it's size T. By the way, I do remember that we had limits in C++. Limits. Yeah, this one. So we can easily actually use something like that. And we'll probably have to import this entire stuff. So limits. So std numeric limit. Okay. So this is going to be answer. Numeric limit. Size t. And we want to pick the smallest one, like minimum. Which is kind of ironic because for size t is going to be 0, so... Because of that, I think it makes sense to query replace size t with integer, because in that case, integer is going to be like a very negative, thing, and as soon as you get the first value, it's going to be guaranteed to replace that one. It's probably much the same with 0, but with 0, I don't like the fact that 0 is a correct ID. That's probably why. That's probably why I want to use integer here, because 0 is a correct ID, and we initialize it with the correct ID without even seeing any passes. Does it make any sense? I'm not sure if it makes sense, but that's kind of the reason why I wanted to replace that. Alright, so cool. So do I have input here? I do have an input here, and let me quickly do input txt. Also, it complained about something because I never printed that shit. So it's gonna be cout ends handle, and let's us see. And that was very interesting because I forgot to do this thing, right? And then answer equal maximum between the answer and ID. So this is how we're going to do that. And also I want to print that just to see what is going on there. There we go. So this is my answer. And let's see if it's the correct one. Is it correct one? It is the correct one. First mother flip and try. I still don't like this problem, by the way. I still don't like it. I think it's a not very good problem. So yeah, but it's just my opinion. I'm sorry that I'm forcing my opinion on my channel. It's not what I'm supposed to do on my channel, I know. Ding! Pepega. The fastest seatbelt signs have turned on. Time to find your seat. It's a completely full flight, so your seat should be the only missing boarding pass in your list. However, there's a catch. Some of the seats at the very front and the back of the plane don't exist on this aircraft, so they'll be missing from list as well. Your seat wasn't in the very front or back though. The seat with the IDs +1 and -1 in yours will be in yours list. What the fuck do you want from me? Okay. Alright, so it's a completely full flight, so your seat should be the only missing boarding pass in your list. Okay, however, there is a catch. Some of the seats at the very front and the very back of the flight don't exist, so... Alright, so we have... ding! Ding! Ding, 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 ding. So if I understood this shite correctly, if they understood... By the way, keep in mind that this is my raw and filtered reaction to this problem. Like, I didn't see that problem before. And so yeah, that explains why I'm brain farting a lot and stuff like that. Because I'm reading these problems for the first time on the stream. So yeah, give me some slack. So if our plane looks like this, that means we don't have these things and we don't have these things, right? Cool. So the thing we need to do, we need to evaluate all of the passes, right? Evaluate all of the passes and find the only one that is missing there, right? Very straightforward, not gonna lie. So one of the things we can do, by the way, I think I have a pretty cool idea to find out how the fuck it's gonna work. So first of all, I want to wrap up the solution somehow. So let's actually do something like part 1, right? And let's put this entire stuff to here. So this is a part 1. And we're gonna have something like part 2. I think it's gonna be kind of similar, but instead of finding a maximum between all of these things, I think I want to accumulate all of the IDs into a set. All right. So there we go. And also we need to include the set. Okay, so while we're reading all of that, we're reading the pass, then we take the ID of the pass, and then IDs nuts. And I'm just inserting that ID into IDs nuts. Yes. So after that, right? After that, I want to iterate through all of the rows, right? So this is how we're going to do that. So it's from 0 to 128. So this is the rows. Might as well actually call them a row. There we go. So this is going to be a row, and then we're going to iterate through the columns. It's going to be like that, columns up until 8 plus column, and I want to actually visualize them. Really, it's going to be interesting. Trust me. So if IDs nuts, I forgot how to check that this set contains something. Let me find the set and we'll see. I just want to see the visualization because I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's find. Yeah, there we go. It should return an iterator, and as far as I know, iterator is can be used in the... Oh, you have to compare it with the end, don't you? I think you have to compare it with the end. Hello, Marianji. Alright, so find, and what we're trying to find here, we're trying to find this multiplied by 7 plus column, by 8 plus column, right? And if it's not equal, IDs nuts end, we're gonna print just a star here. Let me do it. We'll do it like that. Okay. So otherwise, oh my god, Emacs. we're gonna print a dot. So essentially star will indicate that the seed is taken, and a dot is gonna indicate that this seed is not taken. And after a single row, we're gonna do cout endl. So that will visualize the whole thing. That will visualize the whole thing. Let's actually see if it's gonna work or not. So it's gonna be part 2. I'm gonna just run the part 2, and yep. Let me see. Okay. Ha! That's very funny. Look at that. So it is true. So some of them are missing. There's only one here that is not missing, and yeah, it's kind of fun. But it doesn't say how many of them, though, right? So this is actually kind of cool visualization. Yeah, you can clearly see that. So it's completely flat. So your seed should be the only missing boarding pass in your list. However, there is a catch. Some of the seeds at a very front and back don't exist on this hypercar, so you'll be missing. So they will be missing from your list as well. All right. So essentially, what you need to find. You need to find this like hole, right? So you need to know the ID. What's funny is that I can pretty easily calculate the ID of this thing. So this is how many lines I have here. So I have 69 lines. Cool. So it will be kind of cool to find it programmatically, right? It will be cool to find it programmatically, but I can do that manually. So 69, so that means they are rows from 0 to 68. So that means this seed is literally on the 69th row at the column 0. So the answer is going to be, it has to be 69 by 8, and the answer is literally 552, theoretically, for my specific input. Is it true? Yes, it's true. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, so I really liked the fact. I think I'm starting to get it. So here's my problem. I come from a competitive programming background, and as already mentioned in competitive programming, it's either you have a full solution that works on all of the inputs, all of the possible inputs, or you don't have any solution at all. It is like that in competitive programming. And because of that, I go to advent of code problems with this mindset. I need to come up with a code that solves the whole solution, like completely on all of the possible inputs, and it's correct. And that's why I couldn't understand people. Why do you provide inputs? Like a correct solution should just work for everything. Now I am understanding, because you can partially solve it and then make it easier to solve manually, right? So because I just made a visualization that helped me to solve it manually, right? The solution versus right answer. Yeah, I suppose, because I still have this competitive programming mindset where, like, I need to come up with a solution. I need to come up with a program that just solves everything. But you don't need to do that. Like, okay, so I think I'm starting to get the gist of the advent of code. I think I'm starting to understand it. All right, so cool. I might as well actually do a pretty interesting thing. So for example, I can also print the rows, but I'm not sure if it's that useful. So yeah, so and yet another problem has been solved. Was it interesting? Judging by my view count, it probably wasn't that interesting. So yeah, but I did my best. And again, I see that problem for the first time on the stream. I was trying to understand it on the stream. So this is my raw unfiltered reaction on that problem. I missed the problem, but I saw that the input file does not have enough entries for every seat in the plane. How do you find the correct position when there are many solutions? Well, they explicitly said ignore missing seats at the front, ignore missing seats at the at the back, and ignore everything at the front. That's it. So and that's how you find the correct solution, because here it is. It becomes like obvious, like it just stares at you if you visualize it. Right. It's okay, cool. So I'm gonna commit it. So and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm not gonna include some of the stuff. Git ignore in the main. We need to include anything else. Okay, cool. Add solution for day 5, and I'm gonna push that right into the repo. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. You can find all of my solutions here if you're interested. And yeah, so the 5th day was solved. So are we gonna solve another one? We're gonna solve another one. Maybe it makes sense to solve another one. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have anything to do today anyway, so let's maybe solve the 6th one. But that means we'll have to switch to a different language. What do you guys think? Should I solve the 6th one? I'm not solving the 7th one for sure, because I just want to like give people time to solve it themselves. It's almost like, I don't know why chat is so dead today. Probably people probably put me on the background, and yeah. So what's gonna be the next language? I didn't think about the next language. The next language is the most difficult thing. So Kotlin, maybe. I didn't really enjoy working with Kotlin. I don't like its compilation times. It's just not really pleasant to work with in that regard. I don't know why I'm so dead today either. Yeah, probably. Racket. Okay, Racket gave me an idea. Maybe we should try like a scripting language this time. Yeah, so far all of these languages were statically typed compiled languages, right? But we haven't tried the scripting ones. So maybe we can try a scripting one, for example, Python. How about we solve it in Python? Maybe at some point we're gonna solve it in PHP too, why not? Alright. So it's gonna be 06, and let's do that in Python. I'm gonna use Python 2, by the way. I'm joking, maybe I should use Python 3. User bin environment, Python 3. There we go, sorry, see, I'm using Python 3. How do you fucking program in Python 3? So I remember there was this shit, if name equal like main, right, you just do something like that, print hello world, no semicolons, of course. So let me change the title, Advent of Code in Python. Yes, okay, so hello world, and I think I wanna add executable thing here. Okay, it said hello world. I know that it's supposed to use like maybe something like IPython, you know, for this kind of shit. IPython, do I have IPython? I don't even have IPython, get fucking damn it. Can you install IPython? Whatever, I'm gonna just use Python 3. Yeah, I'm gonna use Python 3. Alright, so this is me for the first time looking into that problem. Never looked at it before. And let's just go there. PyCharm, I'm incapable of streaming and using JetBrains IDs simultaneously. My stream will die. So I'm sorry, I'm on a potato laptop. So customs. Okay. As your flight approaches the regional airport where you will switch to a much larger plane, customs declaration form are distributed to the passengers. Okay. Customs declaration is a form that lists the details of goods that are being imported or exported when a citizen... Oh yeah, I know. It's like a... So it's export and... yeah, okay, I see. I see. So the form asks a series of 26 yes or no questions marked A through Z. All you need to do is identify the questions for which anyone in your group answers yes. Since your group is just you... The fuck is this? The fuck is the... Okay. Okay, that's a little bit painful, but okay. However, the person sitting next to you seems to be experiencing a language barrier and asks you if you can help. For each of the people, in their in their group, you write down the questions for which they answer yes, one per line, for example. Okay. In this group, there are 6 questions to which anyone answered yes. A, B, C, X, 1Z. Duplicate answers to the same question don't count extra. Each question counts at most once. Another group asks for your help, then another, and eventually you've collected answers for every group on the plane, your puzzle input. Now that's what I call an epic data mining. Okay. Each group's answers are separated by blank lines, and within each group, each person's answer are on a single line. For example, okay. This list represents answers from 5 groups. The first group contains 1 person who answered yes to 3 questions. Okay. The second group contains 3 people who combined the answer nth. Okay. Third group contains 2 people combined, they answered yes, blah blah blah. Okay, I understand that. In this example, the sum of these counts is 11. For each group, count the number of questions to which anyone answered yes. What is the sum of these counts? Why is this problem easier to understand and easier to solve than the previous one? What the hell? I thought they actually the difficulty grows like, you know, linearly, but the previous one was so maybe something. Yeah, the previous one was difficult for me to understand because of how my brain works, so that doesn't count. Because for other people I saw in the chat it was actually easier to understand, but for me, I have a Pepega brain, so it wasn't easy to understand. Hello, Funk Chi. Hello. Python, is that the content? It's not that interesting because Python was one of the languages I like commercially programmed in, so I still have like a little bit of leftover reflexes for this language. So it would be more interesting if it was completely different language that I have to completely learn from scratch. But I mean, I programmed in Python before. So, so how are we going to do that? Let's actually try to solve that for a single input. So we're going to have a single input. So we're going to have a function called yesu, literally yesu. So what this function does, it takes like answers, right? It takes a list of answers and essentially gives you how many people like answered yes, right? Right. The first group contains, I'm not sure about the third group. The third group contains 2 questions combined. They answered yes to 3 questions. A, B, and C. Alright, can we just concatenate all of these things and just sort them and remove duplicates? Is that a thing we can do? Or one of the things we can do is essentially just put all of the characters into the sets and count the set. So, but I don't remember how to work with the sets in Python. So Python sets. Look at that, W3 Schools is actually teaching Python. Okay, so that means we're gonna have this thing. So type of this thing is set. It's dictionary though. That's very strange. How can I create an empty set? How can I create an empty set? For example, if I do something like this, it's going to be 69. type of access is a set. Oh, it's just a set. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, and all right, whatever. So, and type of this thing is going to be set. Okay, can I insert this thing? Professional Python developer, by the way. So you can pop union update add. Okay, so we can add 69 for 20, and there we go. You have 49 and 6 for 20. And do I have something like contains? Maybe it's not that important. Maybe I can take a length of it. Is it possible? There we go. So this is actually fucking perfect. So, and can I iterate through the characters in a list? For example, if I do something like ABC, and then I can print something like this. Oh, that is shit too easy. Oh my god, why is it so easy? I don't like that. All right. Okay. So we can do something like this. This is going to be set. I'm for answer in answers, right? For x in answer, result, add x, return, result length. Boom. Cool. So that's it. By the way, how do I load things into the Python? I think I can just import like from main import everything, right? And then I have Yesu, and I can have ABC, ABCD, and that will give me 4, right? So because we have ABCD and stuff like that, that's actually super fucking simple. Okay, so fast and easy. Yesu. Cool. But that's not enough. That's not enough. We need to open a file and read line by line, and then accumulate all of that, then wait for... Okay. Python read file by line. Read file line by line in Python. Line by line. Line by line. So I remember that you can open... yeah, you can open a file. But who opens files like that in 2020, bruh? Who opens files like that? You have to open it with a with pattern, right? Right? In 2020, you have to do with, no, not like that, but there we go. Input, you can not go, fin. So this is going to be sample, and so basically it's like a Python array AI, right? Python array AI, and then you can do. Oh, you can just straight up read the lines. Okay, so I can do fin read lines, and I can iterate through all of these lines. So line, is it open as fin? Why not call it file? You mean, probably, whatever. Bike shading, by the way, well, Emacs doesn't like that for some reason. It thinks it's some sort of a keyword or whatever. With open as input. Yeah. Is open as, yes, there we go. And I want to print these lines, you know, just to see if all of that works. So we're gonna have a sample. I think Yesu could just be a len set answers. You think so? I'm not sure about that. That's actually very interesting. So if I have several of these things, right? ABC, ABCD. No. Emacs around file is not a reserved keyword or function in Python. Yeah, maybe. But I already called fin. Whatever. Bike shit. Okay, sure. File. Whatever. You happy now? Do I see Python? No, this is not Python. This is Go. Sample. So. Where is? Okay, this is something. Yeah, sample txt. Here is our thing, and the only thing I want to do here is essentially do something like main. Okay, and I'm sorry, you didn't see anything? I'm sorry, you didn't see anything, okay? Okay, you didn't see anything. Alright, so, oh shit, and it also prints on the new line. God fucking damn it. God fucking damn it. But I wonder if I can do something like this. Just to see if it read anything correctly. Invalid syntax. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. I wonder if I can then essentially just map this entire thing and trim. How do you trim in Python? So if you have something like ABC, can I trim? Trim. So Google time, Python trim strip. Okay. Strip. Oh, cool. So I want to map all of that with strip. I think that will work. Nope. Oh, because it's a method. Lambda x. Yes. How do you force the iterator? List. Okay. Because it was not a problem in Python 2, right? So in Python 3, basically any of these generators become sort of like an funcs, like in Haskell, and you have to force them to evaluate. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm not really get used to Python 3. It looks a little bit weird to me. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I guess. And let's actually start working on that. So we're gonna have answers, which is gonna be a list, and I think if I'm gonna just iterate this entire thing, right, I'm gonna iterate it. I don't really need this list thingy. So I wonder if I can make it a little bit prettier, like this, probably. I don't know. We might as well actually save lines to a separate thing here, right? We can save lines to a separate thing, so I can just do it slightly better, like this. Lines, there we go. So fast and yeah, so this is one of the advantages of Python, is that it's extremely concise, right? And it's like, it's just, you can get in a flow and just dump your thoughts into the language. That's why I think a lot of people like it. Once you get used to the syntax and semantic, you can just like, zone out and just, you know, dump the code into this thing. All right. So yeah. So is there any easy way to check that the line is empty? The string is empty, for example. So wait, you cannot do help on a string? God damn it. Is empty. So I think we can just do length on it. If len line if string, really? If print yes, else print. How do you do that? Do you do a semicolon? I don't remember. Probably not. I don't remember. I'm really sorry. Okay, so all right. That means we can do it like that. If len code size memory usage exactly. If we do have a len, we essentially just add that thing to here, and I'm not sure how to add it to the list. Can you do dir? Do you have append? So if I do this thing, append. Okay, that works. Append line. So if it is empty, we do yesu on the answers, and we have to add that to the final result, because we get a sum of these things, right? So result initially is going to be 0, so that means it's going to be result plus this. I'm not sure if it works there. And then we have to clean up the answers. And after that, I'm not sure, it just depends whether we have the final line. No, we don't have a final empty line, which means after all of that, we'll have to do that thing yet again. There we go. So, and that's gonna be a result, essentially. Result. There we go. Is that it? Is that it? I cannot believe that this is it. Why is it so simple? What the fuck? I don't like the fact how simple it is. Like, really? Really? Oh shit. Why is it so... What the fuck? Why is this so simple and easy to understand? Like, it's supposed to be... Okay, I already talked about it. Whatever, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit ranty today. Okay. So, this is the sample. Let's go to the input.txt. Let's go to the input.txt. And let's get our puzzle input. Oh, shit. That's a lot of shite. Boom. Okay, so it's like 2,000 lines. Wait a second, I think I have a strange feeling that I might have actually did the fucky wacky one more time. I want to re-copy paste input, right? And select. Okay. All right. Okay. Not touching it again. Cool. Input. Okay. So that looks good. Why is it so easy? Too easy. Piece of cake. Okay, continue to part 2. Alright. So... Oh no, this is not how you're supposed to do that. In fact, you have to do it like that. So, as you finish the last group custom declaration, you notice that you misread... This shit is too predictable. Oh my god. Alright. As you finish the last group customs declaration, notice that you misread one word in the instructions. You don't need to identify the question to which anyone answered yes. You need to identify the question to which everyone answered yes. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. So, okay, using the same example as above, okay. Alright, in that case, it's just like this one is going to be 1. The first one is 1. Answer yes to 3 question. Well, this represents in the first group, everyone, all one person, answered yes to 3. Okay, I see now. The second. Okay, so I understand what's going on here. So. So let's call this any yesu, right? It's gonna be yesu, any yesu. There we go. This is any yesu, and then we're gonna have something like every yesu. Every yesu. We're gonna have answers. Yeah. So maybe let's actually do something like this. Result. Is going to be any result, and maybe we can have something like every result. And every result plus every yesu. Right, it's going to be answers, and I'm going to duplicate it like this, and we'll have to print any result and then every result, right? So we're gonna like include both of the solutions simultaneously here. This one is gonna return 0 for now, and we can quickly even test everything. So let me do main. All right, so now we just need to implement this one. should be pretty straightforward. So in this case, what we can do is we can collect them in a map, right? We can collect them in a map, and actually we can collect like a histogram, right? So key is the answer, and the value how many people answered to that question, yes. And then we can iterate through the entire thing and find how many are equal to the length of the answers, right? So yeah, that's gonna be the idea. So let's see if it's gonna work or not. It's gonna be Python, but I forgot how to do that. So so we're gonna have access, right? And can I do something like a? So it doesn't exist, but if I do something like 0 and then +1, okay, it does exist. So I want to have a way to check if something exists or not in a particular map. Has key. Okay, so I can do something like has key. Python 2 again. Really? Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. So, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same, right? It's going to be the same. So I can do has key a. Oh, okay. So it's different. Clear copy from keys. How do you check if it contains? Okay, so maybe it is like that. Really? If a... Oh, okay. Sure. So let's, whatever, let's start doing something like this. So this is going to be a result. We're iterating through all of the answers, right? We're iterating through all of the answers in answer. Then for a single character in an answer, so I'm gonna do that in a very stupid way. Please tell me if there is a better way to do that. So if result has key, not has key, if x in result, we can do result x +1. Otherwise, result Emacs, Emacs result x1. Is there any better way to do that? Does anybody know? Any better way to do that? I don't think so. I think it's, well, to be fair, yeah, I think it's okay. Now, can I iterate through all of this stuff? So if I have access, and for example, if I do a 69, b 420, and then if I do something like x in access and print this entire thing, what it will give me? It will give me the keys. But what if I want to have like more all this stuff? To be fair, maybe I don't even need that. Yeah, I don't even need that because I need to iterate through the values anyway, right? So, and that means I'm gonna do something like, you know what? I think I'm gonna use a little bit of a list comprehension. So for x in result values, x, and I'm gonna sum that shit up. No, then I need to filter them. Yeah. Wait a second. Filter if x equal length of answers. Yeah, like this. This is why I have to do that. Yeah, list comprehension. And then I can sum it up. Right, so I iterate through all the values, I throw away everything that is not equal to amount of answers we have here, and then I sum everything up. Okay, that looks legit, I would say. We can even test it out, I think. So let me try that. So it's going to Python, import from main, import everything. So what we're looking at is every yesu, and we're going to have something like this. It's going to be A, B, and C, and I suppose this is going to be 0. Then we can do A, and it's going to be... it has to be length. So because... so the questions to which, yes, it has to be length. I think. Cool. I want to test that on a sample just to ensure that I did understand everything correctly. So this is going to be the sample, right? So let me try to run it on a sample, and it is in fact 6 as we expected that. And then I'm going to do input, right? And I'll just run it on an input, and I think this is the final result. Let's see if I didn't do any fucky wacky, and there we go. Solve it first try. Cool. Who's a gut cooler here? Who's a gut cooler? All right, that's pretty cool. So yeah, but I'm not gonna go into the 7th problem. I think I'm not gonna go into the 7th problem because I'm just gonna wait until people solved it, and then on the next day, tomorrow, we're gonna try to solve it as well. So yeah. I'm pretty sure Duke is just waiting until all of the 25 Advent of Code problems are available, and he's gonna solve them in a single hour. By the way, I'm kind of out of the loop with competitive programming and shit. What competitive programmers think about Advent of Code? Because for them, this is like it's not even a piece of cake. It's just like, it's like a hello world, right? Compared to the kind of shit the solve on Code Forces is just like, whatever. Like, do you know anything about that? What people in competitive programming community think about this thing? We can actually check it out, to be fair. So we can go to the Code Forces and just see if anyone is discussing Advent of Code there. They didn't talk about it. Oh, okay, so maybe it's just not worth their attention or anything. Advent. Yeah, literally nobody's fucking talking about it. Like, okay, so there's a lot of discussions here, and in the recent discussions, like, yeah, nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about AI Cup and stuff like that, because I recently got a mail about AI Cup as well. But I guess Advent of Code is just too easy for them. What's funny is that Advent of Code difficulty is just right for me, so I'm okay with that. The Thenor, well, hello. Welcome to the stream. I know about AOC because of you. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I would imagine that for majority of like reds on Code Forces, it's just fucking nothing. But it's fine nonetheless for such a moron as myself. Okay. What is that? Triton 37 means what you see is who we are. Is that... What the hell is this shit? Is that like some sort of like an ad? Sponsor? Oh, it's some sort of... okay. Welcome to the people-centric company with positive values, strong culture and diversity. Currently open positions. Sweden. Currently open positions in Sweden. Okay, so let's take a look at the back-end developer in Stockholm. So, well, what do you need to know? What do you need to know? Live and breathe C#. Well, I'm not the right kind of person they need, that's for sure. I'm not the right person. Okay. Okay, cool. So, did I commit my solution? I didn't think so. I think I didn't commit it. Okay, good. So this is gonna be that. PyCache, by the way, is that like a Python 3 thingy? I think it's a Python 3 thingy. Wait a second. I know that Python 2 sheds all over the places with PyYC. So Python 3 now sheds into PyCache. Do I understand that correctly? Right. So it basically puts all of the poop into separate folders so it doesn't spread it all across the... It's precompiled. Oh, okay. Imagine dying because breathing stopped for GC. Fucking damn it. Yeah, okay, so let me actually git ignore all of this stuff, and it's gonna be just PYC. And on top of that, I probably wanna exclude this entire thing. Okay, and maybe I'm gonna also exclude txts. Alright. 06. Add solution for day 6. Oh, by the way, chat, I haven't showed you. So here, like, this is the void counter, right? Essentially, it just, you know, counts how many times I typed void. And void is just basically like a weird tick that I have. I basically type void from time to time. I added a cool thing. I already showed that on our Discord, but essentially I did this thing. Ah, goddammit. So if you do that very very fast, it will just show this, you know, for Unreal Tournament phrases and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's like a Discord. Yeah, I stole that idea from Discord. So yeah, but I don't really type this thing that often to actually get. Maybe occasionally we're gonna get like a double void, but usually it's gonna be just a regular void. And by the way, so this entire program is open source. If anyone is interested, yeah, I just type void because it's the name of the program. It counted towards it. So yeah, if anyone is interested. How to master Python? I have no idea. I don't program in Python. I just solved one problem in Python. And I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. Really sorry about that. Sorry. So we're not solving the 7th. Okay. So enough of advent of code today. So today we need to do something else, right? Today we need to do something else. And I was thinking about what to do for a Monday, and there was a pretty cool idea to continue the development of a Lisp. So how about we try to revive this project and start developing it again? So for those who doesn't know, Lisp is a very old project of mine. It's supposed to be an embedded Lisp. So essentially, it's a Lisp-like scripting language that is a library. It's not Kotlin, by the way. It's written in C. Function. You don't know what is a Lisp? You don't know what is a why? Come on, you should know what is a Lisp. I don't know for how long you watch me, but if you missed the Lisp, you missed a lot. So this was one of the projects that I had. Okay, cool. Yeah, so essentially this thing is a library, right? It builds as a library, and if you wanna embed a Lisp scripting language in your project, you can just link with that library and just call the functions, and you will have like a Lisp, and you can script your stuff with the Lisp. So another interesting thing is that I developed that for my game. To script levels and stuff like that. And after some time I had to remove it because I felt like it was redundant, but I didn't want to remove the language completely. So what I did, I extracted that language out of the game into its separate project, and then I forgot about it for more than a year, because yeah, it's 14 months ago. The last change was 14 months ago, so it's a year-old project. Yeah, I don't really know what to do for Monday. I might as well just continue developing this thing and just get it to some particular point. I completely forgot the code and what needs to be done for this project, so for me it's going to be rediscovering and relearning this thing yet again. I was even using Nix.OS back then. Look at that, I have a default.nix, which I'm not gonna use, but it's gonna stay there. Are the Lisp streams documented somewhere? No, but they're gonna be documented starting from now on, because this stream is gonna go to YouTube on the VODs channel, not Voids, goddammit, VODs. On the VODs channel, but it's gonna be available tomorrow because we upload the VODs on the next day. Yeah, so let's take a look. Do I even have eBisp anywhere? So we need to change the title, by the way. Lisp in C. I think it's a pretty good title. Look at that title. Look at that title. It's so small, yet so catchy. I love this kind of titles because it just takes like less than a second for a person to comprehend, and it contains everything that catches people's attention. Lisp in C. Oh my god, it's such a perfect title. I love it. So that's a perfect clickbait title. So, okay. Let me see. Lip in sync. Haha, very funny. It contains Lisp, it doesn't catch. Ah, god damn it. Well, I mean, it will catch attention of very specific kind of people. Let's put it that way. The kind of people that I would like to see in my community, so that's okay. So, yeah. New programming language written in C. Okay. Okay, you guys are actually better at clickbaiting. I think this one, scripting language. Let's leave a Lisp and wait for a while. And if it's not gonna work, I'm gonna switch it to scripting language. All right. So I also need to update the project. Today we are developing embedded Lisp in C, and it's gonna be something like source code https github.com zosin-bisp. There we go, there we go, there we go. So we also need to close some shite. Just put PHP in the title to reap all the benefit. It's gonna work only once, believe me. I'm streaming for almost 5 years. I'm streaming seriously for 4 years, but I'm generally streaming for 5 years. It's not gonna work. It's gonna work 1, 2, 3 times, and then all of the people who got clickbaited to that will recognize my nickname. Oh, this guy is a liar, and they're never gonna click on anything like that after that. I know how it works, okay? So the idea is that if you wanna clickbait, you should not lie in your titles. You should be always technically correct, right? So for example, yeah, so something like scripting language in C is technically correct because Lisp is not necessarily scripting language, but it is interpreted. So if people got debated by that, it's their own fault, right? So yeah. Essentially, be always technically correct. Anyways, so let's actually clone this entire thing. Let's clone this entire thing and see how it works, how it goes. Wait, maybe I already have it here. Bisp git clone ibis. Alright, so, and let's see if this thing is still built. How about that? Does it still build? It still builds. A year has passed and this entire thing still builds. How about that? Can your JavaScript do that? Can you do something like that with a React or Angular? Will it build even in 6 months? I don't think so. This shit builds in a year. It will build in 5 years. It will build in 10 years. And I'm pretty sure it will build in 30 years. That's how cool it is. Yeah, Alrighty. So what's cool about this entire thing? Look. It first builds a separate library, libibisp, right? And then REPL. And so this is basically what you're supposed to use, right? So this is a library, you will link with that library, and then we build a REPL as an example how to use that library, and that's what you're gonna use to test your changes, right? So once we build all that, we can try to do a REPL, and here's the REPL. I wonder if I can do help, void variable help. So maybe you can do something like 69420, and as you can see, it works. How about that? I wonder if like something, yeah, we don't have. I remember there was something. Oh, there you go. You can take a look at the current scope. Look at that. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. I don't remember how to define variables, but I think it's something like this. Maybe define 69, def var 69. God damn it, def var x 69. How do you define variables? I forgot. Maybe it's just set. Yeah, you just said it. Okay, so it automatically says that variable for you. And then if you take a look at the scope, that variable, yeah, that variable is available in scope. So scope by itself is a sock. So whoever programmed in Lisp before, they know what is a sock thingy. Yeah, a sock. So essentially associative list, right? Associative list where, where's my Emacs? Oh, native is essentially means that it's a C function. When you call a function that is native to this thing, you're essentially calling to C code, right? And this particular library actually enables you with writing C functions and then making them available in Lisp, and you can call them from Lisp, but you have to declare them in a very specific way. And this is what they are. They're native functions. If you try to print something, right, print 69, wrong argument, it has to be a string. Okay, that's kind of lame. I think this is one of the things we'll have to first fix. Right, I think it should be anything, like any expression. It depends, actually. It actually depends. But maybe we should have some sort of like string thing which accepts anything and just turns it into a string, like any S expression, and then you can print it. Yeah, something like that. You also have new. I think you can also quit, and it will quit successfully. Okay, so let's see how it goes. It's going to be Zozin, ebisp. Let's take a look at the repo, repo.c. Okay, so this is how easy it is to start working with ebisp, right? So this is a buffer for reading lines from the user, nothing special. First thing you do, you create a garbage collector. Yes, it is garbage collected. This language is garbage collected. But the thing is, when you're doing that in C, you have to call garbage collector manually from time to time, I think. Unless, yeah, I think eval line. Yeah. So essentially it just calls gc collect from time to time. Like each time you try to evaluate the line, it just calls like gc collect. All right. So, and then you create a scope, right? So this is one of the also important things. You create garbage collector and create a scope. Then we have a bunch of loaders, like loader functions that load standard library and load REPL runtime. So there's particular functions that are only available in REPL runtime, but not in the standard library. So that's basically what it is. So essentially what it does is just loads them into the scope and they become available in the scope. And then we have an event loop, just a simple event loop that reads the line and evaluates that line, right? When you try to evaluate that line, we have a special parser, so which is called a read expression from a string, right? Then we get a parser result, and then we evaluate whatever expression we managed to parse, and then we print that expression. And yeah, this one is interesting. Yeah, so we basically try to parse all of the expressions available in a single line, right? And we always try to collect garbage after we evaluated everything. So this is pretty much the whole usage of the library. This is the whole workflow, right? You create a GC, you create a scope, load some functions into the scope, you parse the string, evaluate the string, and just print it, and from time to time call garbage collector. So you can embed this kind of thing into any program, and you're gonna have like a built-in scripting language that is Lisp. Do you support garbage collectors? No, I don't support garbage collectors. Thank you for asking this question. Okay, so all right. So what we need to do here, is there anything interesting we can implement? We can take a look at how garbage collector works. So yeah, we have 25 issues because I actually imported all of the issues that were needed here. So floats, do we even support floats at all? Do we even have floats? It's kind of an interesting question. But anyway, so there's the GC and GC collect. Yeah, there we go. So, and it expects a root, right? You really need to provide the root of the GC collect. And in case of the REPL, the root is going to be the scope itself. This is very interesting. So since scope is just associative list, you can use the scope as the root. What it does, it basically traverses all of the roots and marks what values it visited. Then it goes through all of the objects it allocated and removes everything that it didn't visit. So it's a very simple garbage collector. Maybe there is a name for this kind of a garbage collector, but it's super simple, right? You just traverse everything, and remove everything that was not visited. So that means it's not reachable, it's not needed. Very simple. Does anybody know the name of this garbage collector? Because I didn't really know the names. What I do, mark and sweep. Really? Is that how it's called? Okay. So the thing is, I don't really know any names because I didn't really read any articles or books. I only hear ideas. So I overheard somewhere at some point that garbage collector works like that. Garbage collectors usually just traverse the expressions, mark what they visited, and then remove everything that they didn't visit. And this idea stuck with me. And then after some time, I just implemented this idea like that. And what's funny is that I heard mark and sweep before, but I didn't know that it's that. So what I knew is vague idea that I just implemented here, and it works, and apparently it's mark and sweep. But we can actually take a look at it. Mark and sweep. So I just wanted to verify that it's that. Tracing garbage collection. Okay. It's very interesting. It's a form of automatic memory that consists of determining which objects should be deallocated garbage collected by tracing which objects are reachable by chaining. Okay, root and mark and sweep keeps a bit or two with each object to record if it's white or black. Okay, so it's a little bit like a modification. Bark and whip. Yeah. All right. So I suppose this is what I implemented. To be fair, I don't remember if I even support floats here. I have a strange feeling that I do not support them. Oh, I do support them. So there's the atom symbol, atom integer, and atom real, and I think atom real is the real deal. Okay. Atoms don't support floats. Oh, okay. That's a very interesting thing. So 33. That is really strange. Ah, here's the interesting part. Here's an interesting part. The issues are completely out of date because they come from a different repo. God damn it. So let me take a look at this thing. Atom doesn't support float. Atom, I think we already implemented that. Okay, const as sex but doesn't handle encoding errors as in print. So I think I want to start with something simple. Multiplication operation doesn't support floats. Let's see if I can implement something like that. So in REPL, also this is not what I wanted. I get it. Zozin и Bisp. Okay. So I want to also do a rel wrap. Do we have flow? We do have. What the fuck? Nice flows, by the way. Yes, Nichkan mentioned it. I was thinking that I need to automatically migrate all of that at some point, but whatever. So if I try to multiply these things together, wrong argument type integer p. Okay, so it expects integers, so it cannot work with them. But if it's funny is that it doesn't really tell. So this is integer, but if the second one. Okay. Oh, it even tells which one is. Yeah. This is actually kind of cool. Okay, so let's find the mul OP implementation. So I would assume that it's located somewhere here. Mul so it's a multiplication operation, right? So it's a multiplication operation, and essentially what we have here Yeah, this is how we define C functions that can be callable from Lisp, right? They can be callable from Lisp. Essentially, they accept garbage collector and the scope because they need to interact with the Lisp runtime. I'm starting to, like, I pass GC and scope pretty much everywhere. It feels like that maybe they have to be combined into a single thing called something like context, right? Something like context. And it also accepts the argument less than argument list. So param, by the way, is really interesting. Param. It is a closure. Sometimes, for example, it's an additional parameter, like in threads. Like, you know how in POSIX threads, in P threads, you have additional argument that is passed to the thread. This is the same thing. So not every function need to have that, but you can put an additional parameter and sort of like a closure. So it's very convenient. Okay. So now. So we iterate through the arguments. So while arguments are not new, we check that it's const p, and we extract the values out of it, and we expect them to be integers, and we just multiply them until, you know, it works and stuff. I wonder how other Lisps work with this. So, for example, in Racket, right? Is there any way to check a type of a value in Racket? Nice REPL, by the way. Can you do something like type or type of? Type of doesn't really work. But if I do something like this, it's gonna be this. But if I do something like this, it's gonna be this. So what I'm thinking. So if one of them is float, everything has to become float, right? If one of them is not float. So maybe this is where something like non-boxing would be useful. You guys know what is a non-boxing? But I'm not sure if non-boxing is used for that. But yeah, for now we can implement something super simple. Lang. Okay, can I do that in REPL though? Lang typed Racket. Is that a thing I can do? No. Because you probably have to pass a special argument here, right? For the language, right? So, and of course it doesn't really tell me because I have to do help. Of course, everything is so inconsistent. So this directive works in file, but of course it doesn't work in a REPL. So we have a different way of doing that. So it creates frustration. I wish things were a little bit more consistent, but they are not, unfortunately. Okay, do you have to provide lang? Sets lang. There's no type of, because Racket us use dynamic and latently typed. Dynamically and latently. Okay, I don't know what is latently type. That's a very new word for me. Let me take a look. That's actually very interesting. Thank you. Refers to type system where types are associated with the values and not variables. Okay, so an example scheme. This typically requires runtime time checking and so commonly used synonymously with dynamic typing. How is that different from Python, for example? Right. So if I want to check the type of a variable, I want to check the type of the value of that variable. So, I mean, I don't understand the difference between dynamic typing and latent typing. But maybe I'm dumb. Anyways, we need to solve this shit. And essentially, if one of them is float, we'll have to do something about that. The easiest thing to do in this particular situation, and coincidentally the dumbest thing to do, is to calculate everything in floats all the time. This is really dumb, but yeah. Right, calculate everything in floats is okay. So it's char in not integer. And not real args. And we need to create some sort of a problem here, error here. So integer p. I think I'm gonna do it like that. Wrong argument type. So what does it accept? Okay. So compile, grep rn. Where is it? Where is it available? So it's in an interpreter. So it accepts the type. Okay. Expected type. So it's a name of a type. Which is okay. We can work with that, I think. We can work with that. So the type is going to be integer p or real p. So yeah, this is going to be like sort of the type here. Maybe at some point we're going to formalize that. I don't know. And then we take a num. We need to restructure that. If this thing result multiply car args atom num, and we're going to do float on that. Otherwise, if real p car args. So maybe I should save car args somewhere at some point. But what I'll have to do, I'll have to do like a similar thing here, but instead of num, I can just use real, right? And otherwise, I can bring this thing here and just remove that, and then just put it like that. There we go. So might as well. So I don't remember the type of this thing. So I'm gonna put an integer, and I'm gonna call it just car, and just put it like that, so I don't have to do it all the time. So because it might be slow. The reason why I'm using integer here is actually pretty interesting, because the compiler hopefully will tell me what the fuck am I doing wrong, right? So please tell me what the fuck am I doing wrong, please, please, please. It didn't tell me what the fuck am I doing wrong, because it's stupid. Okay, support rational numbers. I think like it supports only integers and reals, whatever that's supposed to mean. So its type system is not really powerful. Yeah, so we support symbols, integer, real, strings, lambdas, and natives. So yeah, the answer is no. But I mean, we only started to develop it again. So let me take a look at what exactly, because it's kind of difficult to know what is that. So car, so we take a cons of it, right? We take a cons of it, and we take a car. So where is the car? Yeah, it's a value. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to remember. So the value of this thing is an expression. Cool. So I need to go to the standard library. There we go. So this is basically what it is. So it's an expression, and then we can check if it's an integer p or not integer p. Rational numbers. Oh yeah, okay. So fractional, you mean? Okay. Integer p. Integer p. Okay, cool. So okay, we have different testers for different kind of things, but apparently we don't have a real p. Probably because I introduced real p recently. So integer p. So okay, so it's gonna be a real p. It takes the expression. And the type of this thing is expected to be atom. The type of the atom is expected to be real. So this is how we check that. So this is very simple check. So this is an atom and this is real. And maybe we also need to add all of that to here. So integer p. Simple as that. Cool. Does it compile? Oh, look at that, I have a separate compilation. Speaking of, why a single compilation unit is faster, right? So because of that, look how much time it takes. It's a very small program, right? It's a very small program. Look how much time it takes to build it with a single thread, by the way. 7 seconds. And look at the size of this thing. Clock. 2,000 lines in 7 seconds. 2,000 lines in 7 seconds. So for you maybe it's okay, but I can show you something else. Something. Right. Something debug. Five seconds. Okay, 5 seconds. So yeah, speaking of why single compilation unit is faster. Well, minus B was intentional, by the way, because I wanted full rebuild, you know, for the full time. Stuff like that. Okay, so everything seems to be compiling, and now if you try to run something like this, right, if you try to multiply 69 by 420, you'll get this. But I wonder if you do something like 69 for 20. Oh, it rounds it down. Okay, so apparently it returns it as an integer. Oh shit, and it didn't even complain. Alright, so yeah, so it's supposed to construct a new real. Okay, that makes sense. Why didn't it even complain? That's actually kind of sad that it didn't complain. It might be like a fault of... it might be fault of C. Yeah, that's right. Alright. And the problem of this entire thing is that if you multiply two integers, right, you get a float, which is not ideal, right? So I suppose we can do like implicit conversion, you know, between integers and stuff like that. How can we easily do all that? How can we easily do all that? We can, so this was just a demonstration, right? This was just a demonstration that this is one of the things we can do. But unfortunately, I don't think it's an ideal way of dealing with that, at least for now. What we can do, we can have two versions of the code. We can have two versions of the code. The code that works with only integers, right? And the code that works with only floats. And essentially we can do two passes. We can iterate through all of the values, right? We can iterate through the values, and if we see only integers there, write a huge transition table that defines what pairs of values convert to which values. The problem here is that I'll need to have two results here, right? Right, and I will need to like decide, depending on whether we have one integer. Oh wait, maybe not. Maybe not. What about just using something like that? Integer gc0 and define a binary operation between two numbers that accept either integer or float. Yeah, I think that's a better idea. So essentially, we can have something like struct eval result. So this is the result, and we can do mul 2, right? I'm not sure if it needs to accept anything, but it's gonna accept. It doesn't even need to accept the scope because it's not like available function to the user. But what it's gonna accept is gonna accept just 2 operations here, right? It just accepts 2 operations, two arguments. I'm sorry, it accepts 2 arguments, and basically, yeah, instead of this thing, we're gonna use this thing. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Anna. I think that's a good idea. So initially it's going to be integer, but then this operation may at some point convert everything. Yes, it is mark and sweep. Just see. Here it is. Here's the whole mark and sweep. Yeah, so this is mark and this is sweep. So everything before that is just basically preparation for the mark. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, 1. Sure. Thank you so much. And this is the eval result, and it can fail at any point, so that would be interesting. Okay, cool. So, and we don't even need to do anything here. That's actually super cool. So, result. This is not the result. Let's call it accumulator. So this is going to be acc. And then we're going to have struct eval. When do you do mark, when sweep? I do them simultaneously. You're distracting me from implementation. Let me finish my thought and then ask this question again, okay? So because you're trying to switch my context, please don't do that. All right, so result, and what we're doing here is multiplication 2. We already talked about garbage collector before. You came in very late, I'm sorry. That's what you get for being late. Okay, after that, so this is going to be an accumulator, and this is going to be car, right? So you see, I multiply them together. And after that, if result is error, right, we'll have to just return this result, right? So we have to instantly stop everything and we just return that. Otherwise, we do accumulator equal result expression. I think it's expression, but I mean the compiler probably will tell me what's wrong. Yeah, there we go. And that simplifies actually a lot if you think about it. So return new GC. There we go. So, that's pretty cool. So what does it complain about? So we don't have nil atom as. What do you want from me? Okay. So and then. So, oh, it's supposed to be result. Okay, so that means it has to be eval success. Yeah, it has to be eval success. Because it is a result. So, and here's another thing here, and here we have to return an accumulator. The error messages are actually kind of weird. I don't like them. You know what? I think for this thing I'm gonna use -G5. Maybe it's gonna be faster. But maybe at some point I also will have to switch to a single compilation unit as well. Okay, cool. So everything compiles. Now we need to implement this thing. Right. If so we're gonna have like interesting situation. If both of them is integer, that means we do multiplication based on the integer. If one of them is float, we do multiplication based on the float. So that's gonna be kind of a solution. I'm thinking what would be the easiest way to approach that? What would be the easiest way? Because Imagine being debated by, you know, Cyrillic letters in 2020. So I need to check integer p and integer b. In that case, I just do return eval success integer a atom num. Look at that code, chat. Look at that code, right? So you see, if both of them are integer, right? If both of them are integer, we just do that. And otherwise, we're gonna do the following thing. If integer p a I'm just thinking float a is going to be initially 0, bb is initially 0. If this thing is that, a is going to be equal a atom number oh shit, can we have I have an idea. What if we introduce another function, eval result, to real? It's too fucking real. Okay, so it's gonna be GC, and what it does, we can even call it just real. So essentially, oh shit, yes, that's actually simplifies everything. So essentially, atom a real, right? You do real. And then you take atom real multiply real b. Well, the problem here is that they return results, so that you'll have to handle that. Okay, so it's going to be struct eval result, because we're using C, right? Result a. So, and if result a is error, we'll have to return result a. Result a, and then struct eval result b, real b, and this is kind of similar, but instead of a we're gonna use b. Okay, cool. So, and after that we can just return eval success real result a expression atom real multiplied by result. Now I understand why Lisps are so slow, but I mean they usually have some sort of a virtual machine, but yeah. So essentially we try to cast this number to real, and it's only possible if yeah, this thing is an integer or a real, right? So it's actually pretty straightforward. If a is real, you just return it. Eval success, you just return it. If integer, if this thing is integer, you construct a real atom num, converting it to real, and you return eval success. Otherwise, you return wrong argument type. How do you use wrong argument type? Okay. Wrong argument type, like so. And this thing has to be real p or integer p. Real. So this is how we're gonna do that. Then Yeah. We might as well. Well, yeah, let's just keep it like that. So I think this is probably how it's gonna go. And let me see if it's gonna compile or not. And it doesn't fucking compile because I did a fucking wacky real p. So where is the real p? Excuse me. Oh, because it's underscore. I'm sorry. In C it's underscore. Inside of like eBisp, it's supposed to be like that. Alright, so what do we have here? So here's the args, and I suppose this is what I have to put here. Okay, semicolon. Anything else? So what's that? Integer. Yeah, I have to provide the garbage collector now. I have to provide the garbage collector. Yeah, I also have to provide garbage collector here. Otherwise, I won't be able to do that. I haven't touched this code base for a year, as you can notice, but I still can navigate in it. Speaking of, by the way, here's the thing. So, you know, people cry, oh, you won't be able to read your own code in a month. I read my own code in a year, and I can navigate it. How do I do that? How do I do that? So, yeah. So, the year has passed, and I still can navigate in my own code. So, what's the secret, Zozin? The secret is super simple. I treat all the code as someone else's code, even my code. So what I do is I learn how to read someone else's code, and you just treat any code as someone else's code. So that means that way you will be able to read your code in a year, 2, 3, 10, whatever, because it's just someone else's code. You learn how to read code, it's just a code. So you see, that's the secret. That's the secret, everyone, if anyone is interested, but yeah. Okay, this entire shit compiles. Let's see if it works. Right, so we're gonna have a REPL. Maybe I'm gonna do a rel rep, right? So here's a rel rep. And if I do multiplication for 10 and 20, right, it is that, but if I do something like this, it is that, so it automatically converts everything. Thank you, Odlan, for suggesting the idea. So, and we can try something like this, test. Yeah, and it says test real or integer test. There we go. So it tells you exactly what kind of type it expects. It's kind of slow, like everything here is kind of slow, but I guess it's okay for now. All right. So, and that's the implementation, and maybe we can then later be able to reuse some of these functions for something else. Yeah. Kind of like it, kind of dig it. So let's remove this entire thing and see how it goes. Yep. Do we have any tests though? Oh, we do have tests. Which, oh shit! Did you guys know we have tests? The fuck? Did you guys know that? How do you use them? Let's actually find out. I forgot about that. So yeah, you can just do tests. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. So just test tokenization, parsing and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Like unit tests? Yes, we do have unit tests. How can you survive without any unit tests? By the way, do we have a CI? I think we do have a CI. Yeah, we do have a CI. Nice. Okay, so what we're working on is an issue for mul OP does not support floats. Yes, it's an issue 14. Okay, 14. Make mul OP support floats. Reals? Yeah, let's call them floats. And let's just push that right into the repo. Right, and on top of that, I don't remember if we still use Travis. Oh shit. Look how simple Travis configuration is. Compare it to GitHub Actions. Compare it to GitHub Actions. So let's create a pull request to our own thing. And I kind of want to refactor the build system and make it single compilation unit. but maybe it's not the time to do it right now, because it's not that interesting anyway. Okay, so this is how much code it took to add support for these kind of things here. Yeah. Cool. Does anybody have any questions for like what we're doing right now? So somebody was asking about like garbage collector or something. Okay, here's the thing. You're supposed to call garbage collector manually whenever you want. You probably have too many assumptions about this language. Okay, so I have to explain them yet again. You should have actually joined a little bit earlier. This is a library. This is not like a proper language. It's a library. Lisp as a library. So it's embedded Lisp. It's in the name of this thing. It's embedded Lisp. So you're supposed to integrate that library into your application to enable scripting with Lisp. So, and that's how you work with it, right? So, for example, we have a repo that demonstrates how you work with it, right? So you organize the loop here, right? And you parse the line from the user, you evaluate that line, and after you've done all of that, you call manually garbage collector. So from the C point of view, you call garbage collector manually whenever you think is appropriate. Like, for example, in case of a repo, you call it after each evaluation. It's as simple as that. And when you do garbage collection, it consists of two steps. It traverses all of the objects starting from the roots and marks everything it visited. And the second step, it removes everything it hasn't visited. That's it. Make sense? Any other questions? So this is specific for that project because of its technical requirements. Requirements are, it is a library that you can embed in your project to enable Lisp scripting. That's why garbage collector is implemented like that. In any other Lisp, it's going to be implemented differently. So this is not a universal way. There is no universal way of doing that. You have a project, you have technical requirements, you use your brain to analyze technical requirements, and you come up with a solution. So that's a very important part. Does it make sense? Okay, moving on. So hopefully it's still building. It's still building. Sweep, you mark from root, right? And how do you sweep if the reference from root are lost? Don't lose them. How do you traverse heap and how the objects on heap are related? Well, just don't lose the references. Like, I mean, if you lose the references to the root, it's a bug in your program. Like, why do you lose them? Like, fix the bug and don't lose your reference from the root. So in our case, root is the scope. We have a table that keeps all of the variables in the scope, and when they go out of the scope, they become unreachable, so they become roots. I don't understand your question. Just don't lose the roots. I like reformulate your question. I don't understand it. I don't know understand which one. So, and also keep in mind, I've never read anything on mark and sweep algorithm. I just heard an idea and I just implemented it. I don't know the idiomatic way of implementing mark and sweep. To be fair, I don't know what it is. Right. I just heard an idea that you're supposed to traverse the object and remove everything you haven't visited. That was enough for me to implement my garbage collector. Well, I don't know mark and sweep, I'm sorry. Sorry. So maybe I can suggest you just to Google up what is mark and sweep and read anything. Like, I didn't read anything on that. So we're waiting for Travis. So the job is cute. While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna make a cup of tea and maybe somebody else. Any other questions? So feel free to ask them. But keep in mind that I usually don't read any articles or books, and if you want me to answer a very specific thing with a very specific name, I probably don't know it. but if you have any questions on particular ideas on how to do things, we may discuss them. So, does anybody have any questions? While I'm making a cup of tea. I'm making Earl Grey, by the way, if anyone is interested. Travis is very... takes too much time, to be fair. Maybe we should actually spend some time moving this entire thing to GitHub Actions, because this is unbearable. So one of the two things I want to do, I want to move this thing to GitHub Actions, unfortunately, and also introduce single compilation units, because the compilation speed is just fucking killing me. Right, so I'll have to quickly go turn on my kettle. So, and then we're gonna quickly go back. It's gonna be like a couple of seconds. So, because just my kettle in a different room and I can bring it here. Back. So how is it going? Is it building anything? It feels like it's not even building anything, so... I would really appreciate you if you spoke English. I'm not gonna answer questions in Russian, I'm really sorry, because it's too much work for me to translate them from Russian to English for everyone else to understand. Don't you have a samovar? Yes, I do, but I don't know how to use it. So that's the problem. And using it indoors, I think it's kind of dangerous, because it's that samovar where you put like charcoals and shit. I just don't want to do that in home. Custom channel points icon when? I don't know. Okay, so that actually takes a lot of time. Let's try to spend some time introducing maybe GitHub Actions or whatnot. So we'll have to go to master. So thinking people use channel points SMH. The only time I saw people using channel points is to highlight their messages. Is there anything useful for points? Has anyone find anything interesting to do with points? Like everything I saw on other channels is just kind of lame, to be fair. Well, except whatever comes with the Twitch, like flipping emotes and whatever, but it's just set it up automatically. May I know your current background music? I'm just listening to this thing, I suppose. I saw some funny Internet of Things devices. I guess I just don't find... To be fair, there's something wrong with my brain. The idea of, you know, people typing something in the chat and it changing something in the streamer's environment, it doesn't entertain me at all. Like, I look at that and I find it boring. Like, it's just... It's really... It's too obvious of an idea, like... But there's something wrong with my brain, so don't listen to me. So it's just like I find a lot of things interesting that are not interesting for the majority of people, and the other way around. Majority of things that are interesting to other people are just not interesting for me. So there's something really wrong with my brain. So and I just, you know, that's why I'm so asocial, by the way, because of that I cannot socialize whatsoever. So yeah. I think to me that makes sense is to like game requests or something, probably. So because the amount of points correlates to how long you've been watching the stream. Okay, so let's set up the GitHub thingy. So because I want to have a GitHub Actions, that would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. That'll be pretty cool. So we'll have to introduce workflows, right? So introduce workflows. I'm gonna copy paste this thing here. So we're gonna build all of that on GCC. I don't think we need to install any dependencies. I think. Let me see. So, because when I'm building eBisp, do I have... Yeah, what's cool is that about eBisp is that it depends only on libc. So that's pretty cool. It depends on the libc, which simplifies the CI. So we do check out, then install dependencies, so I can straight up... Oh, am I in the right place, by the way? Yes. So I can remove that. Then we do make. And we could do a similar thing for Clang, I suppose. Okay, install dependencies. We don't need to install any dependencies. Linux Clang. Yeah, so this is macOS. Okay, I'm gonna remove that and I'm gonna say something like to do. There is no build for there's no CI build for Windows. I wonder if we already have something like that, if we already have an issue for that. Do we already have an issue for that? Windows? No, we don't, so it's going to be a new issue whatsoever. Cool. So another to-do probably that I want to create is that we need to clean up the issue. Whatever, it doesn't matter, nobody cares. Okay, so I'm going to create actions. Introduce GitHub actions. Okay, I think my kettle is ready, by the way. Okay, so did I push this? Yeah, I wanted to push to origin. What do you think of setting message of the day for channel points? Okay, so let's create a pull request. I also need to set up the badge, I suppose. Let's create a pull request. So it's kind of strange that it's oh, look at that speed. Look at that fucking speed. GitHub Actions already done and Travis is still waiting. Fucking disgusting. Fucking disgusting. And we're still waiting for this shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is... Should I just remove Travis? Like, if it takes so much fucking time to start up. I think Travis just gave up after GitHub introduced GitHub Actions. They literally just gave up. And it just doesn't work anymore. So... What's up, Nutrix Life? Welcome to the stream. I think they literally just gave up. Like, their entire infrastructure is dead. Their office is completely empty already. They're just like, you know, the servers are running on WSL until they run out of money. So this shit is dead. So I think that's what's going on. So we just need to remove the Travis build or whatnot. Just switch to that. Can I disable this thing somehow? I think I have to explicitly go to the Travis. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that. Travis CI. Travis CI. So I'm trying to sign in with GitHub. Is it still working? Oh shit! I can still sign into Travis. So this service is not completely dead, which is cool, but it's slow as fuck. So what I want to do, I want to disable a specific project, so never build that project anymore. Can I find eBisp, please? Is it possible to find a Bisp? I don't have that many projects. I mean, come on. You just need to iterate a couple of hundred entries. And iterating a couple of hundred entries is not that hard for modern computers. Come on. Dude, come on. The repo settings will list the integrations. Alright. So... I remember it was somewhere here. Is it settings? Yeah, eBisp. I think it's part of the Zoising then. Come on. Yes. Disable that shit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Come. Travis is coming. We'll see. Let me take a look at the actions. And that means maybe I should be able to do Travis. I'm not really happy that I have to get rid of Travis, because GitHub now doesn't have any competition. But I mean, yeah. So they doing everything to make you dependent on GitHub, like fucking everything. Getting out of GitHub becomes more and more difficult over time. It is what it is, chat, and it isn't what it isn't. Is it not? I think it is. There we go. How is eBisp different from something like Janet programming language? Well, there is very huge distinction. I have no idea what the fuck is Janet programming language, and neither do I care. Next question. So, and I do know what is eBisp because I created it. So, I think it makes, at least for me, a huge difference. Like, it's actually like astronomical difference. Something that I know and created, and something I've never heard of, and it sounds lame. The name is absolutely lame. My name is way better, by the way. Okay, so let me see. eBisp is a language, something is a game. Yeah. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? I think it makes sense. So introduce GitHub actions. All right, everything seems to be building. So. Did they push the removal of Travis C? Remove Travis YAML. And let's just push that right into the repo. Cheers, by the way. Okay. So is it gonna restart everything? Hopefully it will restart everything. Okay, it didn't start the Travis, which is great. Let's wait a little bit. So this is Janet Lang. Let's take a look at it. It's a functional and imperative programming language. It runs on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, BSD. The entire language is less than 1 megabyte. You can also add JavaScript into application. So the answer is there's nothing special about this language. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. So let's merge that. I stopped developing Lisp 25 years ago. You mean Lisp? Is it still a thing? No, it's not a thing. It's already dead. Let me show you. Don't bother. Don't bother with Lisp. So look. Lisp was created 62 years ago, right? So like it's dead. Let's be honest. It's fucking dead. Don't even bother. It's not a thing. Just move on. Program in JavaScript. This is a good modern language. So. Okay, let's actually Fuck. Origin. This is not what I want to do. Origin master. Let's remove that. Do I need to? I feel like I want to rebase this entire thing. Yeah. Yeah, I want to rebase it and actually force recompilation. I'll have to force push this kind of stuff. Okay, is it doing? Is it doing? It didn't update the view. I didn't see the view being updated. Rebase elsewhere, rebase it on the master. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna force push that right into the repo. Why are you so offended? Welcome to Tsoding channel. I'm not offended by the question. Alright. New friends, am I right? New friends. So, okay. Everything looks okay. So we're waiting for only for Mac OS. We're only waiting for Mac OS. And it's almost done. It's almost done. We also run tests. We even have unit tests. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I didn't know that a year ago I wrote unit tests. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm only waiting for macOS. Is it done yet, or just Microsoft being Microsoft yet again? No, it's still building. Okay, at least it started. Hopefully, it's not gonna error with 500 or something. You know, the thing that GitHub Actions like to do. Build the game, yes. Build the game. Feel free to submit a pull request that changes that. So, yeah. Dude, seriously? What the fuck? It cannot build it because it's not a game. I know why it is like that. It is not a game. It is not a game. Finally, Jesus Christ, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's merge that pull request. There we go. Finally, our multiplication operation supports floats. How about that? So now you should be able to do something like, you know, multiply 69 by 420, and that will work. But on top of that, if you just have integers, the result is still going to be integer. The result is still gonna be integer. So this is exactly what we added in this pull request, and I'm super happy about that. That is fucking amazing. Cool. So let me fetch the other stuff. So maybe we're gonna actually go through the rest of the similar issues, because I saw a lot of other similar issues there. So maybe we can just quickly go through them and add a similar thing. So Control F floats, yeah, plus op doesn't support floats, and greater than also doesn't support the floats. We can actually like just quickly go through them and add the support for them. Cool. So, okay, so now I just need to merge origin master, and there we go. Oh, okay, so, yeah, speaking of, I think you guys were right, because I think Lisp in C doesn't really work well. So, I think the time has come to finally switch to scripting language in C. New scripting language in C, yeah, I think that will be better. Okay. Cool. All right. So apparently, chat is better at clickbaiting. Well, we're about to find out. If the amount of views will increase, I will admit that chat is better at clickbaiting than me. Your tests seem to be slow. Feel free to submit a pull request that fixes that, because the project is open source. The sky is the limit. You can do anything. It's under MIT. Just go ahead and fix it. The code is basically yours. Epic. Absolutely fucking epic. Anyways, let's continue. Hello, Senority Warm. Welcome to the stream. We are developing Lisp. How about that? Did you know that? Look at that shit, bruh. Can your C++ do that? Can your C++ do that? Yeah, it can. A Lisp, yes, that's what we're developing. Okay. Was it? Oh shit. No, it's 10. Dude, Gilok. You almost debated me. But didn't really debate. But almost. Almost. You almost debated me. Alright. So we need to do the same shit but with plus. Yeah, here's the problem. Okay, so let's actually take a look at the problem. So you can do this kind of shit, right? That's totally fine. But if you try to do something like this, expected integer but got that. And that's not bueno. That's no bueno. So, and that's exactly what we want to fix right now. So it's going to be very similar to how we did with the multiplication. And we even gonna use this particular function. So I wonder, I think I want to put it somewhere like at the top, so it's available to as many codes as possible. So here's the function that is invoked every time you do plus, right? It's a pretty straightforward function. So let's implement this kind of thing, like mul2, but for plus, right? It's going to be plus 2. Plus 2. So if it's two integers, we just sum them up without converting them. If one of them is float, we try to convert both to the float, and we're just going to do plus for that. Alright, so here, the result, instead of being specific integer, is going to be the expression. So we're going to work with the Lisp expression directly. Now, struct expression car args. So this one is car, right? And I don't check its type here. The type of this car element is going to be checked here, right? And what we do is, by the way, I think in the previous function I did what? I renamed this thing to accumulator. And now I have eval result plus 2. So I sum up the accumulator and car, right? So that gives me evaluation result. So here's the accumulator. So I think initially it's going to be integer. Initially it's an integer. Dynamically typed kick. I mean, it's a scripting language. I mean, how else do you expect a scripting language being typed? I mean, it only makes sense. I'm not developing a programming language. I'm developing scripting language, right? So in scripting language is like more comfortable to work with if it's dynamically typed. Okay, so if result is error, we're gonna return that result. So otherwise, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna assign the accumulator result expression and then continue. After that, we should just return the accumulator. I think that's it. I only use GHCI for Haskell, so I consider the scripting language. Fair enough. There's also around GHC thing, which essentially takes a .hs file and runs it as a script. I wonder if it can work with shebangs. I think it should be able to work with shebangs, but essentially you can write Husky scripts. Let's give it a try. So if I try to do something like this, this is not what I wanted. Emacs, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, I obviously typed something incorrectly, but whatever. So put strlen scripting in Haskell in 2020 w. All right. So, and essentially, this is how you can do that. You can do run ghc, and it will just run it as a script without compiling. Well, I mean, maybe internally it will compile it. While it's loading package environment. It's doing things. And I mean, it was just warming up, right? So the second time is going to be a little bit faster. See, it was warming up, right? It's warming up the caches and everything like that. And the question I have, does it work with shebangs? So if I do something like user bin environment run GCI, will that work? Okay, that's pretty cool. Look at that. It didn't complain. Did I save the file? Yes, I did. So I'm going to try to do like that. Okay, so now it is executable. And then if I try to run this file, it works. So you can use Haskell as a scripting language with shebang and stuff like that. So by using run.gc. So if you didn't know that, this is how we can do that. Cool, is it not? I think it's pretty cool. All right. So, all right. Does it compile? Let's find out. Make minus b and minus g5. So it should compile probably. It doesn't compile. Would you look at that? So because I also have to provide the garbage collector. Without garbage collector, it's not gonna really work. It's not gonna work. And it does work. Okay, so the only thing I needed is a garbage collector. Cool. So now if I run the REPL, right, it's gonna be like this. Run the REPL and I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And one of them is gonna be this. Works. So it works with both integers and real numbers. I wonder, can you have something like, can we have type of 69? I really want to implement type of. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. Type of. Okay. Let's commit what we have here. So this was actually relatively fast, relatively quick. Add floats support to plus operation. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Boom. Are you guys ready for a pull request? I didn't expect to be so productive on eBisp today. I thought I'm gonna be struggling with the code base. But so far code base is decent enough, I would say. There are a couple of things. I mean, I had like kind of a different outlook on programming a year ago. Some of the solutions, some of the decisions that I made a year ago, I didn't think they're that great or useful. But overall, this code base is decent enough, I would say. Obviously, I'm biased, but I mean, I haven't looked at that code base for a year. Struggling with their own code base. Well, I struggle with every code base because I treat them as someone else's code base. Such is life, yeah. Okay, guys. We're ready to. Okay, so it actually is done. Let's merge the pull request. Confirm the merge. eBisp support for something. I'm not really sure if something is gonna have a scripting language. Because scripting language just adds too much work because you constantly have to create bindings and then remove bindings because you want to make a particular logic faster and rewrite it in C. So I would just rather prefer to make all of the logic in C. And it's not that hard to actually. So the only reason why you would have a scripting language in a game engine is because somebody who doesn't know a real programming language works on your game. And to be fair, Lisp in that case wouldn't be ideal choice for such people. And by these people I mean like game designers and stuff like that who can think like programmers, but they don't know any programming languages, right? For them, something like Unreal Blueprints would be more ideal because they could just, you know, dump their logic there and not learn anything. Lisp for non-programmers. Yeah, I don't think Lisp is great for non-programmers. To be fair, Lisp is not great for programmers. Lisp is great for recreational programming, that's for sure. So I don't know if there's that much Lisp in production. Oh, no, there is Lisp in production. There's a lot of specifically common Lisp in production, apparently. There's like a whole companies whose business is to sell some sort of like common Lisp solutions or common Lisp interpreters to like very like few specific companies that still have a legacy code base in common Lisp. It's so weird. Like there's like a whole niche in the market for that, and it's really hidden. I think Naughty Dog used Lisp on Crash Bandicoot. I mean, I don't know. Did it pay off? So just because they used it there, it doesn't mean it was a good idea. Remember me talking about Age of Empires? Was Lisp? Okay, the same question applies to there. Was it a good idea? So we need to ask the creators of those games and ask them, like after so many years has passed, was it a good idea? Would you, you know, would you meet your deadlines easier if you didn't have to deal with that? So these kind of questions. I mean, you can like use whatever you want, like anywhere you want, but I mean, does it really make your life easier? Would your life be easy if you didn't do that? I don't know. That's a good question. There are interviews, they still think it was a good idea. Well, very well then. But was it actually? They just maybe think that's a good idea. Was it actually? What's up, heroes and bloods? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Okay. So, don't get me wrong, I like Lisp. I like the whole idea of Lisp. But sometimes might be not a good idea. Okay, let's merge everything and let's remove that. Cool. So we need to do the same, but for the greater than, right? So the greater than. Epic Games did a good move in that area. They firstly write scripts and blueprints so we can test logic without recompile everything every time, and then if everything okay, they just rewrite it in C++. That's pretty strange. Can you automate that? Can you just like compile blueprints to C++ in the first place, or they're not really compilable to efficient C++? It's like why do you have to do that manually? Can't we just automate that? Okay, so let's do that. So here's the similar situation. Right, here's the REPL, and this thing greater than. Okay, greater than. Yeah, there we go. It's 2, 1. Right, but if it's a float, it's not gonna work. Okay. Automated with Python, yes. Right. Here's this interesting thing. In Lisps, these kind of comparison operators actually accept variadic amount of arguments. So you can do something like this. Not everybody knows that, but this is not really a greater operator. It's a function that checks whether the arguments are sorted in descending order. That's what it is. So I will demonstrate you with a less, but I don't have a less support yet. But essentially, all right. So we can do something like this, but you can also add more things. And what it does, it just checks if the arguments are sorted. But what it enables you with, writing something like this. It's actually amazing. it's actually amazing because like in other languages you will have to write something like this, right, which is not particularly convenient, but here you just like form an array of these three elements and you just check if it's sorted, and it just looks so natural. You can actually add more things here if you want. Why not? You can add as many things there as you want and it just will work. So, and that's why I like Lisp, right? So because it just shows you like this very interesting syntactical pun, and it's beautiful sometimes. So that's pretty cool. Cheers, by the way. I'm running out of tea. Okay, so let me find the greater than. Again, so greater than here doesn't work with floats, right? So I'm gonna go just find. Works in Python, cool, but I'm talking about Lisp. Greater than. Cool. I think we'll need to introduce like greater than 2, right? Greater than 2, which will compare specifically 2 arguments there. Lisp is dead and buried, write and see. Write and see, write and see, write and see, oh, write and see. Pascal's now the answer. Nice accent, by the way. Thank you very much. Anyway, all right. So, Pascal's not the answer. Ah, сука, блядь. So greater than. If both of these motherflippers are integers, right? Integer. Not integer, integer A and integer B, well, we're gonna just compare them then. Return right in C1, in 1C. You meant 1C, not C1. Or maybe, I don't know what you meant, I'm sorry. What is C1? I only know 1C. And we'll have to return. This one is interesting, actually, I think. Do we have T? Yeah, you meant... Okay, so... You just expose yourself as a non-Russian, because any Russian would never make such a mistake, that's for sure. Exposed, you're a Western spy. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is a atom num greater than a atom b atom num, right? Do we have a function that accepts a boolean and constructs like t or nil? Brazilian spy. Oh, you're from Brazil. I didn't know that for some reason. It's kind of funny how many people from Brazil we have in the chat, but yet, according to my Twitch statistics, Brazil is not the majority of my viewers. So it's kind of funny. I guess this I already said that a hypothesis a long time ago, that Brazilians are generally very talkative people, and that's why they're very visible in the chat usually. Because they're happy, talkative people. Have stats changed? I mean, what countries are on the top? We can check it out one more time. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? I hope I'm not going to expose too much information. Shit. The Twitch is slow. The Twitch is very, very slow. God damn. Channel analytics. That's what I'm clicking on right now. I'm clicking on channel analytics. Happy talkative people. Well, That's the impression of Brazilians I have. Unlike Russians, who are grumpy doomers, Brazilians are very happy people. They seem to be. Okay. I cannot find it though. Like, where is the stats? Alright. I think I'm a dummy because I cannot find. Okay, I think I found something. Okay, do we have. I think I can show this. Okay. I can show you some stats. So on the top we have Russia apparently, views per location. So top is Russia. The second place is Germany. The third one is United States. It's kind of interesting because the United States were on the top a long time ago. Then we have UK corner, Poland, France, and only then Brazil. But they're so active in the chat that it feels like Brazil should be like somewhere up here, but they're actually like here. But at least they're top 10. Yeah. So that's how it looks like, pretty much. Yeah, if anyone was interested. You're too early for US folks. Ah, yes, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. That's true, that's true. Italy is last. I'm sorry. UK Kone emote. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I really like this emote. Where is Belarus? Well, I believe Belarusians don't really have much time to watch Twitch these days. They have their own problems. Zozin, where is China? That's a good question, I don't know. Okay, so this is what we have here. And I'll have to convert this thing. I'm curious if they're taking IP location or profile data. I think maybe it could be IP location, yes. Because they also show ads depending on your location, right? So Twitch can show me Russian ads when I'm using Russian IP, but if I use like VPN, it shows the ads from the country of that IP of that VPN. So I would assume that they use the same mechanism for their statistics as well. So why not? It just makes sense. Eval result. Yeah, it shows local ads. That's for sure. So, and what I need to do here, I need to convert this thing to a real trap shit. Okay. Result if it is error. Return the. Yeah, we might as well actually do it like that. Return result A. And similarly, we're gonna have a B. Honeybee. Alright. Cool. Now we're gonna return eval success. A atom real. Oh yeah. So I need a function that takes a boolean and constructs t or something. Do we have anything like that? Oh, I know how to check that, but I'm gonna do that a little bit later. So let me quickly do something like this, because I want this code to compile new GC, so I'm gonna just return new GC. And let me quickly compile. I just want to find a function that accepts a boolean and returns expression. I wish we had Google for C, but we don't, I think. We don't. It doesn't fucking compile, mate. What the fuck? What do you want from me? Control reaches, I mean, it doesn't. What? The fuck are you talking about, dude? Come on. Control reaches the end. Am I a bebega? Oh yeah, I'm a. Let's write Google for C. That would be good. Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Defined but not used. Stop running it with -b. But if I don't do the full rebuild, it will cause problems related to, you know, recompilation and shit. Okay. No, I'm gonna run it with -b, I'm sorry, because I've been beaten by the incremental compilation build so many times, I just don't trust incremental compilation anymore. Like, I just don't trust it anymore. Because the amount of times I was just chasing, like, non-existent bugs is just insane. So I'm really sorry if that triggers you, but it is what it is. So what I was trying to do here is expr h. I want to update this thing and go through all of the places where it fails. And I want to see, oh wait, I think I saw it. Condition. Found it. This is exactly the function I was looking for. The way I found it is I knew that that function would use t. Let's find all of the places where you use t. Grabbing t is pointless because it's a single character. Let's rename t to something else. So it's called Boolean as expression, and that's actually super convenient. Now I'm gonna go here, remove that, and go back to the stdlib, and this is what essentially I wanted to do. Okay, so this one is gonna be like that. Shit. There we go. So Boolean as expression. Yeah, so we have a condition, you turn it into expression, Lisp, and then you return it as a result. And similarly, we're going to have something like this: a b atom real, and then Boolean as expression. Boolean as expression. All right, so let's rebuild all of that. Doesn't compile because why? I think I have to provide the garbage collector because it may, yeah, it needs to allocate some stuff. Boolean as expression. Oh yeah, this one also accepts the UGC. Boolean as. Okay, the only complaint here is that this function defined but not used. That's totally okay. Don't worry about that. Don't even worry about that. Oh, okay, this one is interesting. So we use void expression of some sort. And what the fuck? What the fuck? Why is this so complicated? Oh yeah, this is because it's kind of pointless. Yeah, oh shit. I see it now. This function is completely different, so So because you cannot treat greater than as just like a monoidal thing, right? Yeah, you cannot do that. You have to compare them by pairs and something. Sorted, if not sorted. So sorted, you just return. Okay, we even use this somewhere here. So here we have x1 and x2. So for this one, I think that's how we're gonna do that. I think I know how we're gonna do that. So this is gonna be the result. Struct eval result eval result, and god damn it, I noticed how I did void unconditionally. So this is going to be result, and it's going to be greater than 2, accepts this thing, x1 and x2. But x1 and x2 are these kind of values, right? So this is x1. I'll have to rewrite the whole thing here, I think. I'll have to rewrite the whole thing. And by the way, in Racket, if you call this thing without any argument, okay, so arity is incorrect, one argument is true, and so on and so forth. It works for this thing as well here, right? So it works with at least one argument. I think I need to rewrite this entire function. Yeah, I think I need to rewrite it. So the arguments has to contain something. It has to contain a value. So, alright, so we need to implement greater than, but from scratch, right? So that's what we need to do. Greater than, but from scratch. Banana. I haven't had a banana for so long. I want a banana. Alright, so is const p, right? If this is not a const p, args, we can do something like return wrong argument type. So when I use a wrong argument type, how do I provide gc, and I'm going to provide const p for the args. Right. Otherwise, we're going to do struct saying, but I hate bananas. Well, it's kind of interesting. There's like a whole huge category of people who don't like bananas. There's a lot of them actually. So it feels like sometimes it feels like I would say the third people I've met don't like bananas, but 2/3 do like them. And that's very interesting, I think. But I do like bananas, personally. Okay, so we're gonna have x1 here, and this is gonna be just a car of args. And then I think we should be able to do something like cdr of args. Oh fuck. cdr of args. So I have this thing first here. And also we keep boolean sorted. So initially it is true. So initially this entire thing is sorted. And while the argument list is not empty and sorted, we keep doing this thing. Yeah, we keep doing this thing. So then we're gonna do, oh, this one, it has to be a struct expression. So another expression is going to be x2, and it's going to be again car args. So this is the second expression, and this is where we're going to do greater than 2, which accepts gc x1 x2, and it returns us eval result, right? And of course, if result is error, we have to return that result. So this is such a common pattern, I might as well turn it into some sort of a macro, right? Unwrap result, right? So it accepts the result, and essentially if result is error, return result. So something like this. I mean, yeah. Do we need this command? I can edit. There we go. Okay, so here's the result, greater than. Okay, and then we can check if it's new, result expression, sorted equals sorted, and like this. And after that, x1 becomes x2, and args becomes cdr args. And then we return eval success, boolean as expression. So that's the whole implementation, right? That's the whole implementation. When you want to put up your hands, but it just makes breakout in gem. Not sure if I understand that reference because I'm not following conversation in chat. Anyways, seems to be compiling. Look at that. Seems to be compiling. That's pretty cool. I like how straightforward this code is. Like, I'm almost like programming in Lisp, but in C, right? Because I just have a loop, and this is essentially how I would program in Lisp anyway, but I just use in C for that because we don't have like a complete standard library. So that's why I'm using C. Okay. Right, seems to be compiling. So now, greater than should support this kind of stuff. Do we need to compare all list items if first comparison fails? No, we don't, and that's why we have sorted here. You see, we assume that it is sorted, right? And then we do a comparison and we end it with a current sorted. And on the next iteration, that sorted is going to be checked. And if it's going to become false, yeah, it will evaluate successfully, but it will evaluate to false. Does it make sense? So this is how the whole while is organized. So it will stop once it's not considered sorted anymore. Hopefully makes sense. But yeah, this loop automatically stops if something fails. Not really automatically, it just does this additional comparison here, but I mean, whatever. Okay, so it seems to be compiling. Let's take a look. REPL, and what else do we have here? I'm gonna do RL wrap, and so here we're gonna do 1, 2. This is true, so I already did a fucky wacky. Nice. I think it has something to do with then. Okay, what the fuck? Excuse me. Where did I fuck up? That's very strange. Okay. Where did I fuck up? Okay, so this is a car. Then we do CDR. Then we do car. And CDR. Greater than 2, x1. And we do check this thing here. And if it's error, I return that. Then I check if it's null or not, and then I apply it here. I don't see the problem, so what's the problem here? Maybe I need to rebuild it one more time, just in case. And let's rerun it. It does fail because it expects this thing here. This is true, that's okay. This is not correct. The question is why. The question is why it is not correct. We can try to debug that maybe at some point. But I'm not quite sure how to properly debug that. So it only can happen if this is gonna be true. But it shouldn't be true. Like, no, it is not true. So the only reason why it will be true is because here I don't see the reason. So we can try to debug that. Okay. So do we build REPL with debug? Oh, we don't. Look at that. All right. So let's build everything with debug information. All right, cool. So let's rebuild everything from scratch. Okay. And let's do... Is it still true? That's a good question. Let me check. 2, 1. Oh, it's the opposite. Okay, so it's the other way around. But I specifically... What is going on? So this is a car, this is CDR, car CDR, x1, x2. Then x1 becomes x2. What? Is it iterating expression? No, it iterates them forward. Like, I mean, it just unwraps the conses. It just unwraps the conses, so that means it iterates them from left to right. So, yeah. So essentially we just have that 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So it will take a look at that thing, and then, yeah, it iterates it from left to right. It's not opposite. It would be reversed if it was recursive or something. This is the correct A, B, greater. Where is the mistake? Where is the mistake? I don't see it. Okay, so let's do GDB. Let's do GDB, and let's do a break. Right, and let's just run it, and it's gonna be 1, 2, a boom, 2 enable, cool. So we can take a look at the A, right? So what is A? A is, oh, I like how it also shows me, that's nice. Expression atom. Okay, so, and inside of the atom, what do we have? It is atom integer, cool. It's 1. Wait a fucking second. What was the original expression I put in? What was the, I cannot see it. 2 disable. 1, 2. Okay, so that is correct. That is correct. 2 enable. And let's take a look at B. B, it is not a pointer. Atom. It is integer. So, if I evaluate A atom num, B atom num, can I evaluate it? Is it okay? Whatever. Maybe something wrong with Boolean as expression? Because this is true. Okay, so let's print the result. There's no error, but the expression is atom, right? Expression is atom. So I'm going to take the expression. It is atom. Let's take a look at the atom. It is symbol, and symbol is nil. Is it something wrong with Boolean as expression? Boolean as expression. What the hell is going on? Why did it become nil? What the hell? Wait, don't tell me I... I'm an idiot. I need to check if it's true. I need to check if it's true. That means for it to be true, it has to be not nil. Oh my god. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. Oh my god. Ooh, I'm so dumb. Oh my god. I'm sorry. This is the dumbest mistake I've ever done in my life. Oh my god. Okay. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at it now. Ripple. Okay, and now 1, 2 has to be false, 2, 1 true, then 3, and so on and so forth, right? And then you can swap this, and this is not sorted. Okay, cool. But on top of that, the thing that we added is that now you can work. That's interesting, actually. Look at that. Yeah, you should be able to work with floats, but it doesn't work with floats, so this is another problem that we'll have to fix. So all of the logic is done here. I don't know. Not first try. Yeah, it does. It's not first try. So is error. Why don't you do that? Okay, so what if it was like this, maybe? Oh, now it is true. But if it's like that, if it's false. Ha. So both of them have to be floats. Okay, let's try to debug all of that and see how it goes. Wait. I need a minimal reproducible example. Yeah, okay, so this is a pretty good reproducible example, and we can see why it doesn't work. So let me try. So it's gonna be GDP ripple, and I'm gonna break on greater than 2, actually. Let's run it, and it's gonna be 430. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. This should skip. Cool. We can print A. So print A is an atom, but if you take a look at the atom itself, this is not what I want. I want you to put this thing here. It is an integer, but if you take a look at B, it is real. So A is an integer. You can clearly see that. So here's the integer. I mean this, right? And B is real. Right, B is real. Cool. After that, we're trying to convert A to a real, and if I take a look at the result of A, it is not an error, and expression atom is a real number, and real is 4. Cool. Then I can take a look at the result B. Result B, it's false. What about atom? Actually, expression atom, it's 3. Cool. Both of them are correct. Where did I make a mistake? So an A atom is greater than B atom real. Where did I make a mistake? I just checked their values. They're correct. Everything's correct. Okay, let's go out. And if I take a look at the result, it is atom. It is, wait, yeah, it has to be expression. It should be a symbol, and it's false. Why? When you're alone in a room full of VIP users, exactly. Okay, so that literally doesn't work. That is really strange. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Why? Because they get converted to, this is true, and this is true, but if for specifically integer, it just doesn't work. Like, look at that. What the hell is this bullshit? What the hell is that? Because in this particular situation, in this particular situation, they both are going to be converted to real. I already did JDB, it didn't... okay, yeah, okay, once more time. So it could be only here. Okay, if it's real, we just return real. If it's integer, we take the integer part, convert it to float, and construct a real out of it, and just return it. What's wrong in here? Is... It does. So it's something specifically with the first argument. Greater than. Here's the first argument. So what's so specific about that? Oh shit, I'm an idiot. Oh shit, this is so painful. So did I make that mistake anywhere else? I was comparing the wrong... Yeah, I was literally comparing garbage in the memory. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I think I'm already tired, that's probably the explanation. When you're tired, you're starting to make mistakes like that. Yeah. So essentially they were numbers, but I was treating them as reals. So yeah, I'm so sorry, Chess. Yeah. Expression, there we go. Let's try to see that, and that should fix the problem. That should fix it. At least we caught it. At least we caught it. So let me see. What do you think about single compilation unit? I use it. Not in this project, but I generally use it in my other projects. And it's useful. It actually makes the compilation fast, at least with Clang and GCC. So yeah, everything seems to be working. So I'm actually planning to, you know, enable single compilation unit for this project as well, because I mean that will speed it up dramatically. Okay. So what did we do here? Greater than does not support float. So what's the issue number? It's 12. Okay. So I'm also gonna add GDB. Enable debug info for all the targets. Okay. 12. Add floats support to operation. Okay. And let's push that out into the repo. So the way you have to think about this kind of operators, right? So you have something like this. Try to mentally, like, put this operator here, and you'll instantly see why it is false. Right? Just try to visualize if you can, because not everybody can visualize, you know, formulas in their head. But I luckily can. So just take this thing and put it in between these numbers, and you will see, you know, the actual result. Does it make sense? It's just a fault. Well, technically it is a fault. It's another way of thinking about it. Alright. So, is it... Did I create the pull request? I don't think I created the pull request. So we probably will have to add more operations to the standard library. I really like how extendable this code base is. Like, I just went back after a year of like hiatus on this project, and I just added a couple of functions, like improved a couple of functions. Because in Lisp, nil is false. Yeah, to be fair, in like eBisp, semantic is very close to common Lisp. Maybe we should change something about that. Maybe we should introduce like a boolean. I think in Racket has a separate type called boolean, right? So we have this and false and nothing else. So there's no such thing, right? So this is a boolean. Maybe we should also introduce a boolean. So Yeah, that would be actually pretty great because the like nil and t is very like weakly typed, and I'm a big fan of stronger typing. Okay, but they're different types, aren't they? So if I try to, for example, if I compare t and false, I'm not sure if it's a correct way of doing that. Is it equal? How do you compare them? Equal. God damn. You can also always undefined. This one is undefined. It expects a number. So is it Boolean equal? I don't know. So what I was trying to do is to check whether what's the type of these things, because I would imagine that the type equal okay, tf. Okay, so they're not equal, but if you try to do something like that, they will be equal. So what about C? And what about this? Are they the same? Are they of the same type? It's kind of interesting. But if you try to compare things like that, oh, it doesn't care about the type. So maybe maybe EQV would work. It's not L. God damn it. Okay, and if I try to do 5, okay. Are F and F equal? This should be, I think. This should be, they're equal. Okay, I'll think about that. So I'll think about introducing like Boolean, because maybe that will be useful. Stronger typing and stuff like that. Alright, so this one is done, so let's merge everything. But at the same time I have implicit conversions, which is kind of I was talking about only hash syntax, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I was just curious to try things out. I don't know much about Racket, even though I programmed in Racket. Like, I programmed in a lot of languages, and I know nothing, almost nothing about all of them. That's the reality of the jack of all trades. Alright, so today was a pretty productive stream, I gotta say. So we solved 2 advent of code problems. And we also revived a very old project of ours, eBisp, which is an embedded Lisp interpreter, which is essentially like a library, right? It's a library, you link it with your C or C++ project or any project, and you get a scripting language, a Lisp-like scripting language. And yeah, I wanted to continue developing this thing for quite some time, and now finally have an opportunity to do so. So Monday is gonna be eBisp day. How about that? So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So and eBisp actually brings back so many memories when we were developing nothing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool. But unfortunately, boys and girls, it is time for me to go. Thanks everyone who's watching right now. Really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, according to the skidoodle, we're going to do a Rust development. That's right, we're going to continue developing our TUI framework in Rust called RCUI. So essentially, it's a TUI framework. That's pretty much it. It's built on top of Incursus, and we're developing it for other applications that we're also developing. So this is how it looks like. Yeah. It looks kind of strange, but I mean, it's Rust. So you declaratively express the UI, and you just give it to the engine, and it's, you know, it does everything for you. So also check out our schedule page for more information on other projects we're working on. Check out our VODs channel, where we archive all of the streams. These streams is going to be there, but tomorrow, because we archive them on the next day. And also check out our Discord server for offline discussion with the community. And that's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. Love you all.